Yes, 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 and be blessed at 5, quarter to 6 in the AM on this early Sunday morning. I have returned for no other reason that I'm awake and my soul has something to say. So why not share it with the masses or for right now, just share it out loud until the masses come? Yeah. Years ago, I knew nothing about podcast. You know what? Pardon my rudeness. My head is a little swollen, and I put the cart before the horse, as they s- the cart, yeah, the cart before the horse, as they say. I am Troy Graham, and this is the Troy Graham Experience. Welcome, 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 one and all. It is so much better, you know. That is so much damn better than jumping right in. Take your time, build some anticipation. I should know all that. I'm a writer. You don't just get to the meat and potatoes of the story. You have to build anticipation first. Like, why am I here? Who am I? And then you lead up to where you're going and give a little bit about the body of the story. Yeah. But to jump right into the story like that, what happens then? What happens then? You basically give everything away before you even could, build anticipation or anything. You just, hey, here, take it. Ain't that damn important anyway. Take it. Take it. It's yours. Like that scene in Troy when the Greeks were about to attack the beach of 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 Troy. Is it the Greeks or the Romans? Yeah, they were about to attack the Troy's beach, right? And Achilles, played by Brad Pitt, said, Marmaden, oh, freedom, not freedom, greatness, legacy, it's yours. Take it, take it. So, that's what they did. They went about just getting on that beach and started to slaughter some things. Achilles Gate inspired them, and he just started slaughtering, started slaughtering men at a pace that shouldn't even be possible, chopping off heads, slicing up people with swords three at a time, and he looked good killing. He made killing look good. If there's a if they could be such a thing, killing look good. My. You see how those two words are not supposed to together, but they do. Killing and looking good. But yeah, he made it look good. Okay, so now I could go on to why I decided to jump on here at 5:48 a.m. in the morning time and 14 damn degrees where I'm at on the East Coast. So this whole years ago, I knew nothing about social media. I really didn't. I was deaf, dumb, and blind to the whole thing. I just, flipped through YouTube, listened to a couple of videos, heard, heard some old speeches. I listened to some pastors and things of that nature, just find information that suited me. And then I learned about this thing called podcasting. I had no idea what it was. So, I listened. First dude I found, which give no names today, he was loud and abrasive. And I'm like, you trying to be a Howard Sternish? Like he's just trying to be Howard Sternish. And I'm like, this dude he kept my attention because I needed some noise in my head because that helps me work. You know, I need that noise in my head. It helps me get along sometimes. As a writer, your mind goes all over the place sometimes. When you take a break, you have to relax and then but you need noise in your head. At least I do. That's how I work. The more confusion that's outside calms me down inside, if that makes any sense to you. Because, see, basically, that confusion is outside, and I can shift through it and say, okay, there goes a train going off. That's a plane taking off. Someone out here is arguing. Those are gunshots. You know, I could shift through the madness and say, okay, there's a story being told out there. I just have to listen. And once you shift through the madness is where you find your jewels. And that's how my writing works. You shift through the madness, clean the dirt off, and say, okay, trains, planes, bullets, altercations. Put it together. Let's make it work. What's up, Chad? Good morning, sir. So that's how I used to write. I woke up in what I call the concrete jungle. It was a building behind me, it was a building in front of me, and we didn't have air conditioning. We had a fan in the window in the summer. So even if you had all these fans in the window, there's no circulation because you're the center building. So you're just blowing hot air back in. D-Ray Productions, salute that guy. Salute. Bless up. So all this madness gave me the clarity to think. All the confusion I could say wasn't madness because I had this third eye or whatever you want to call it, where I could make everything work for me. When I was a young child coming up, I could hear the train, I could hear the plane. Okay, I knew those were gunshots. They weren't firecrackers. I knew I knew so and so just dumped something in the trash loudly and things of that nature. Which brings me back to my point of being on here damn near 6 in the morning, 14 degrees in the cold. Even though I'm not cold, I'm in my house. Social media, man, you gotta ask yourself, why are you really here? What is this all about? Because a lot of times, as you all have seen me in the years that pass, I've been on panel, 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 panel. A lot of times it just doesn't, I don't want to be the big personality or the big thing, but sometimes you are what you are. You know, not to brag or anything. And then you say to yourself, okay, I see something, I don't agree with this. And then your opinion is meant by, well, you can't disagree. Yeah, I can. This whole thing is opinion based. Like Mad Chad, you've disagreed with people, and they're like, well, you can't disagree. Yeah, you can, Chad. What's up, Wayne Hennessy? You know, 2 degrees in Portland. Oh hell no, Chad. You can go ice fishing when you get up in the morning. Good God Almighty, and I'm over here with 14-degree heat. For 14 degrees over here, saying I'm cold. Good God. Hey, do me a favor. Tell me what kind of fishing you do get when you go ice fishing. Do you go ice fishing? First of all, I was being facetious. I was making a joke, but do you go ice fishing? I've always been interested in that for somebody else, not for me. I like to fish, but I don't know about ice fishing. Tell me what type of fish you catch in the ice, man. Wow. Because I know living out here on the East Coast, it's just regular fish, catfish, I think trout and rockfish over here. Uh, I see a lot of salmon in the stores. So I'm assuming that you can catch salmon out here too. But what do you catch? What do you catch out there in Maine without me having to Google it while I'm on air? How about you, D Ray? What's the temperature like where you at? And that guy, Wayne Hennessy, what's the temperature where you at? Because Chad came and knocked my 14 degrees off the throne. Talking about 2 degrees. You win. You win. Fight over. Take my belt. You are the new champion, the undisputed champion of freezing weather. Good God Almighty. Ooh. But yeah, So you know what? I don't even want to talk about the social media thing now. I really do want to talk about something else, like fishing and all of that, man, and weather. But anyway, let me stay on point. So, like I said, you get on these panels and you come to realize the word social and media should never go together. It's an oxymoron. Media has never been social. Perch. Is that a whitefish? Trout, bass? Now, I like trout. That's my favorite fish right there. Ooh, I like trout. And bass is okay. What's this other one? Picker, pickerel? Never had that. What is that? What do pickerel and perch taste like? D-Ray, 15. Okay. I got you beat still. Omaha, Nebraska. Wow. Okay, okay. What kind of fishing you get up there, D-Ray? Good gracious. That's the home of Crawford, right? That's the fisherman right there. Smelts. What's a smelt? So what's a pickerel, perch, and a smelt? I know about. Listen, I know about porgy. I know about trout. I know about snapper. I know about shark. I had shark. I know about mackerel. Uh, my. I had that. What's the other one? Uh, what's the other white fish? And I'm not talking about codfish. I know codfish. What's the other one? Oh God, I can't remember the name of it. It's so simple too. Anyway, salmon, tuna. I had all of that. Uh yeah, those are the fish I've had throughout my life. What is the other one? I see it clearly in my head. I just don't. It's a white fish that's similar to codfish and the mai. It's like flaky like that, white flaky. Jesus, why can't I remember it? I don't remember. I don't remember what it is. Pick pillock. What's haddock? There you go. There you go, Match. That's exactly what it is. Haddock's another good fish. I've had all of that. Yeah, the shark thing. It was on sale at the store, so I decided, well, let me get some shark, and they'd already cleaned it, and they'd already chopped it up. You know, they filleted it and all that. So I said, okay, let me go, let me try it, and I took it home and I cleaned it again, and I soaked it in some pineapple juice, and I put some lemon in there, some honey, some brown sugar, black pepper, crushed red pepper, onion powder, garlic, oregano, and some other seasoning up in there. And I let it marinate. I made a paste. I made a paste. That's what the honey was for, to thicken it up some. I made a paste. And I and I olive oil. I put olive oil, a little bit of vinegar. But you don't want to put too much of that vinegar in there because it'll basically start to cook along with the salt and stuff. It might start to cook the fish and all that, just a little bit. But anyway, I rubbed down the I rubbed down the fillets with it, and I covered it up for 24 hours. Then I threw it on my grill and and cooked that damn thing up. Bullheads, I don't fish. Bullheads, bullhead fish. What's a bullhead? Yeah, tell me about smelt. I don't know what that is. What kind of fish is smelt? Is it anything like a barracuda or a mackerel or anything like that? I've had barracuda. Have I had barracuda? I believe I've had. I've had barracuda. I've had barracuda too. Yeah, I didn't know what it was until after the fact. But hell, doesn't matter to me. You don't fish, brother? Do you hunt? A D-Ray production. You go hunting, deer hunting, and all that. Because with everything going on, man, I want to get to know all the urban farmers, the hunters and fishermen. So when they turn off the power, I could I could reach out to some of y'all and we could barter. Y'all can help. I need some food, and y'all might need something that I have. We work things out because that's what's going to happen in the long run, I believe. When it just gets too much and it's just damn too much. Supermarkets are expensive as hell right now. You got to learn how to barter again. It's not always money, but it's bartering. But yeah, and the one thing I had a chance to get was bison, but because I was born with congestive heart failure, and I can't really be doing thick beef and all that stuff. I don't hunt either. Damn. Okay, we go to the supermarket. You go to the supermarket, right, brother? But anyway, yeah, there's a bison farm out here, and he sells bison meat, I think, twice a year, and people were running there to get and deer. He sells deer more than twice a year, but he sells bison, I think, twice a year. A friend of mine was running out there to get some steak and all that, so I was like, "Nah, you ain't got to bring me back no steak, no bison steak or none of that, no, because shoot, my body can't take that." I tell you what I miss though. Excuse me, y'all. I'll tell you what I do miss is ribs. I used to eat beef ribs, but I can't mess around no more because of, health issues and all that. I miss that. And when you're raising three boys, 10 pounds of beef ribs is not enough. You got to get 20. And the boys could eat. So it was 20 pounds of beef ribs, four family packs of chicken wings, and 3 pounds of ground chicken. That's how we used to celebrate New Year's Eve. Oh, and the fake champagne. And we were cooking up food to supposedly last 2 days or 2.5 days. But like I said, three boys, 6'6", 6'4", and 6'2". We don't make them small over here, baby. Don't make them small. But let me see if I get back on point with the social media thing. So the whole thing with the Troy Graham experience, it's uh it's my freedom on here, man. Am I driven by somebody asked me what's the point of it? I said it's a conversational piece where I could talk about anything. I have the freedom to say and talk about anything. One guy asked me if I'm going to make any money from it. If it's if it's marketed and done the right way, yeah, I could make money, sure. And I'm not even gonna lie to you with that. That's not my goal. And I can't just say that I want to make money the way somebody let's say months or whatever, a year from now, I'm bigger than what I have more numbers, I have more subscribers, and somebody comes along and say, hey, we want to give you some money, but you have to do XYZ. And I don't really see myself doing that. I won't do it. I won't do it because I can't be bought. I live by a simple motto. You never miss what you never had. You can't miss what you never had. You can't. I can't miss $1 million if I never had it. I can't miss $1,000 if I never had it. That's just me. Other people tell me I'm crazy, but hey, crazy is honorable. Always enjoy your angles, Troy. Yeah, how old are my son's 21, 19 is 16. And that's not including my daughter. She's 6'1". She's the oldest one. She's 32. So yeah, everybody hang with their daddy for New Year's Eve. So that's why I would buy so much food. And I would cook it up and they would do the side stuff. Like my daughter know how to do cornbread. She learned that from her mama. My other son make a hot stopping macaroni and cheese. There's got three or four cheeses in there. I don't eat. I'll get a little piece of it, but he learned that from his mama. She make unhealthy heart food, so I can't, you know. Uh, and so and the other one, salad. He learned that from me. And the other mama, I showed him how to make sweet tea. I buy these big old tropical tea bags, the big bags, not the little bags, like pomegranate, hibiscus, tropical mix, and he'll make that all up minus the liquor. Yeah, minus the liquor, right? So then you factor in now the grandkids, which is well, two of them are eating real food. They're 8 and 2, and they're tall too. So yeah, nowadays we don't see each other that much. Everybody working and just doing what they do. But when they were younger. That's how I carried it. So then I bought the fake Welch's champagne. It had the top on like real champagne, but it was just grape juice. And I had bought chocolate hemp milk and different flavors of ice cream, and made my world famous hemp milk ice creams. So yeah, definitely. Boxing Lounge. What a guan, man. What a guan. Good to see you. So that's how we celebrated New Year's Eve over here with the big children of mine. Oh, we watched the football game. We watched the football game and all that. So yeah, and then if my nephew was home from college, he would come over. He's about 20, 25 now. Right? Boy, bench press 500 pounds, man. He's going to the NFL. So yeah, he's only 5'10". He's one of the short ones, but he's not mine. He's my nephew. He's 5'10", but he could bench press 500 pounds. Boy, strong. So he comes around. He used to come around to. Well, he knew to come around New Year's Eve because he knew I was throwing down up in here. So he would come around with nothing but a hungry belly. I'm like, you ain't bring nothing to the party. Nah, you don't drink. So I'm like, what you want me to bring? And then he said, oh, I should go to the store and get some juice or something. Should I get some paper towels, punk? Yeah, man, come over here empty-handed. So I sent him to the dollar store. He gets some paper towels and we chill out. We about 10 people over here. All that food will be gone. But let me see if I get back on the social media thing because I got these little moments where I stop and tell y'all things that just come to my mind. So anyway, I started this whole Troy Graham experience because I needed my own voice. Now I tell people all the time, Major Major Key by himself is a damn bright lights, big city. He's a superstar. Major Key with Troy Graham is a galaxy. You know, by himself, the dude is a superstar. He don't need me. He was a superstar before I came along. He definitely don't need me. He got a big personality. That's because he's very compassionate on both ends of compassion. He's loving, man. He's a loving dude when it comes to his family and all that. I've seen that. Every time I get on the phone with him, we got this little son. As soon as he hear my voice, he just busts out laughing. That's my boy right there. He busts out laughing, man. That's my boy. It just me. He start laughing, I start laughing. So yeah, I'm not saying his name or add nothing, but yeah, little Major Key Junior be having me laughing when I call his father, right? So then on the flip side, you know, that all that compassion could be very explosive as well when he feel he's being wrong. So he's from both ends of compassion, you know. So you take it. You either take it or you don't take it. I decided to take it. It's cool, you know. Now me, as you can tell, I'm laid back, but it's something. It's something there. I'm not a one-way street. I'll start telling you the story about fishing, then we'll be off the social media, then we'll be off the why am I cooking 20 pounds of beef ribs and 4 packs of family wings and 5 pounds of ground chicken. What the hell is this boy talking about? I don't know half the time either. But in my head, it comes out pretty good when I tell the story. So you put all of that together and we work well together. And our families are united throughout history. And I didn't know that until I put him on the phone with my brother. And that freaked me out. It really did because see, I don't get read by people. I really don't. And when my brother got on the phone with him and he's like, I know this person, that person, this person, that person. And that was basically half of his family that he just named, half of Major Key's family. And it was just a lot of emotion when they got on the phone with each other. So I saw my way out of it because I didn't need to be there. Let them talk and have their loving time, man. That's not where Troy belongs. That's a loving family, man. So I decided to exit out of that call. And then you know, but yeah, we got some things coming for y'all. We got Monday, we got Prince Charles Williams, former light heavyweight champion back in the late 80s, early 90s. He beat Bobby Ches in one hell of a fight. He beat Bobby Ches in one hell of a fight, y'all. So yeah, that's coming up. And then really I think after him, I'm gonna shut it down with the boxing interviews. I'm gonna start bringing you more interviews over to my page, the Troy Graham Experience, that focus more on things that I want to focus on: health and wellness, uh, martial arts, just different things. So you just want to stick and stay. But yeah, this social media thing, man, a lot of times it's really a battle and cutthroat. People say to you, "I love you like a brother." How? You don't know me. You don't know me. And I hate when people tell me that and they don't know me. I hate it. I hate it with everything in me. But because to me it's it's false. Okay, just to throw out a name out here like D Ray, Mad Chad, the Boxing Lounge, you're probably all good men, right? And I see you pop up every time I'm on, and I have so much respect for that, and I appreciate that. I could never tell you I love you like your brother. I don't know you, and I hope that if I did say that, you would correct me and be like, "You don't know me. How the hell you gonna love me as your brother? You don't know me to walk past me on the street." You know, you gotta correct. You gotta come correct and be honest with people. I don't want nothing to happen to any of you, but I do want everybody to grow and be prosperous and happy in this life. But I can't be your brother if I've never met you. But on that note, I have a brother that's coming on pretty soon. He's a playwright. He's a philanthropist. He's a comedian. He's an actor. He's been on The Wire. He opened for Paul Mooney 3 straight nights in a row. You got to be one bad mama jamma to open for Paul Mooney. So he opened for Paul Mooney, right? He's coming on and he's going to just talk to us about other things you could do in life besides. I mean, he's an actor, like I said. He's going to tell us how he got into the acting business and how to find money to start your business, because there's a lot of money out there, y'all. There's a lot of money. There's somebody wealthy right now who wants to put their money towards something, but you just have to give them that purpose. You have to put yourself in front of them. And when you get in front of these people that have money, please have things written down on paper, and please have yourself together enough to say, well, this is my purpose. Because once you have that purpose in you and that passion, it will give them a reason to help you. Purpose and reason. Nobody has a reason to do anything unless you give them that. It starts with your purpose, which gives them the reason to do something. To me, that's not difficult to understand, but I was told I was a fool for thinking that way. So I said, okay, cool. We agree to disagree. Anyhow, you know, so I'm going to be put in front of them people in the long run when I'm ready. I'm just not ready now because I don't have anything straight in my head yet, but it's coming. It's coming. Finkles. What's Finkles? Oh, you know what? Here, I want to talk to you, man, because I want to hear how you say your name, brother. With the cool Latino name. I'm tired of messing up your name, there, good brother. So I'm gonna drop this link. Where am I? Y'all get to walk with the man as I'm walking myself through it. So they go to link per Soul Central. I come up here and say your name for me, brother. This way I can sound cool saying it because I sound like a mess. Now, Ron Finkel, we were just talking fishing. I figured you would pop up, man. You ever been ice fishing? You could jump up here too. And somebody get Sheldon on the phone. I haven't spoken to Sheldon in a few days. And get this smoke keeps saying his mic don't work. But I hear he's on other shows. Man, he be punking out on me. Get this smoke. That dude, man, it's hilarious, man. Sheldon, you say to get this smoke. Hey, get this smoke. What do you think about the sunrise? He's like, well, if you're in China, the sun really hasn't risen yet. And in Africa, it's this. I'm like, that's not what I asked you, Smoke. That's not the hell what I asked you, bruh. Nobody wants to hear your long ass, soliloquies all the time. Just answer the question, you know? Damn it. Shut the hell up, man. Nah, buddy. I hate ice fishing. It's the Hey, you ever caught a shark, Ronald? Because I had shark before, buddy. How about it was a barracuda? Was it barracuda? Yeah, barracuda. How about one of them? Well, jump up here real quick, man. Jump up here real quick. And by the way, how do I sound? Because I'm real. How do I sound, y'all? I mean, I need to go do something, so y'all stick and stay. I'm not going nowhere. I'm here. I just need to. I just realized something. Bam. I need to know what I sound like. So, okay, I sound pretty damn good. Okay, there we go. Know what I sound like. Bam. There you go. There you go. Now I can hear how your name sound.
What up, Troy?
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Morning, brother. Morning, morning. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right.
Good. How do you say your name?
It's pure South Central in English, but I wrote it in Spanish because I'm from South Central Los Angeles. It's
Yeah.
puro sur central.
Okay, slow that down for me right quick.
So it'd be puro, and
Mm-hmm.
then sur, and then
Mm-hmm.
central.
Yeah. Burro Sol Central.
Yeah, yeah. But say kind of like with a P sound, like a I don't know, shit, I don't know. Uh, puro, like poo, like poo.
Burro.
Here you go. Boom.
Okay.
Perfect.
Burro Sol Central.
Exactly. Like most people, they either like the guys that know how to speak Spanish, they'll call me puro sur, and then like people that can't speak Spanish, they'll call me puro or puro or like puro. They say it in kind of like their own way, man. But everybody. And some people have trouble with it, But yeah, they'll shorten it up,
Yeah, I like the sound of it, man. I like the sound of it. I like the sound of it, man. I tell you
Yeah.
what, man. What's the brother name? BAD. What's that podcast?
Which one? Which one?
Uh,
Which one?
I think it's called BA. Is it BAD?
Oh, are you talking about BDA?
BDA. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. BDA.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know your age group. What's your age group, brother?
Oh, I'm 40.
Okay. Okay. So you heard Fantasy Island. You know what Fantasy
Yeah,
Island
of
is,
course,
right?
of course. Like the
Okay.
plane, Bosty plane.
Yeah. 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 But when I first heard his voice, the brother from BDA, I'm like, you sound like Carlos Montalban, man.
Oh yeah, yeah, like Ricardo Montalban. Yeah, a little bit,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, deep voice and shit.
Yeah. He does. He sounds kind of smooth, man.
Yeah,
I don't think he
yeah,
caught
man.
on until after I said it the third time. He's like, oh, okay. And he's like, he just didn't care.
Shit, yeah, man. That show is like fucking older than me, actually, man. I don't remember it too much, but I do remember it was on when I was a kid.
Can I be honest with you? I really didn't watch it that much. My grandmother and we watch Star Trek Dynasty, and she only tuned into T.J. Hooker just to constantly say that Captain Kirk is a police officer. That's why we watch T.J. Hooker. I'm
Yeah,
like, this
man. I,
dude's
I know those shows, but damn, man, they
yeah,
were before my time. I was very little, or I just don't remember 'em.
yeah. But you know what's so funny? I get on this live, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have a thought when I get on here, right?
Hmm.
But my spirit takes me wherever I want to go, and I
Yeah,
just
no,
kind of run with it.
yeah, no.
Yeah,
That's what I love the lives like that, man. I like going on lives like that. You talk about boxing, next thing you know, you're talking about like movies or freaking cooking.
yeah, because now when I do the interviews, because I got some interviews coming up which are not boxing related. I told Major I'm gonna give him all the boxing stuff I do, right?
Hmm.
Unless it's somebody super big, then he gonna come over here, right?
All right, all right.
But but Like for instance, I'm not jumping the gun or anything. I'm about to just tell you, I got a brother coming on. Like I said, he's a playwright. He's a comedian. He's a philanthropist, and he's also like a motivational speaker as well, and a coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, he's been on tour with Paul Mooney. That's
Okay.
big, right?
Rest in peace. Yeah, yeah, for
Rest
sure.
in peace. Yeah, he was on The Wire, right?
Oh, okay, cool, cool.
And yeah, and he puts on his own comedy tours, right?
Oh, all right, all
And
right.
and he puts on his own plays. And his niece is a a dancer and a choreographer. And well, our niece is signed to uh, Beyonce's mama, right?
Mm. Okay, okay.
And you saw her in the video. She did a on stage, I think at the Grammys with Jennifer Lopez. She did the thing with oh boy, what's the weekend that
All
song
right.
he has on the Panther movie,
Okay,
right?
okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. I think I seen that. I don't remember it, but
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then Beyonce, she did stuff with her, and then Rihanna, and then her father, that's the one of the baddest artists I've known, right? He when we were much younger, I mean much younger, when we were in our 20s, right? Early,
Hmm.
probably late teens, early 20s, he was collecting tuna cans. Here's why he did that for an entire year. He built a car. Don't ask me. I'm gonna give money and he could break it down better than I can. He got
At a fish. What do they call it? A bumblebee tuna cans.
Yeah, he got some shears, cut them things open, smoothed them things out, cleaned them, and he built the actual model of a car with tuna cans, man. The doors open and everything.
Just
Yeah.
because, or
No, he was driven. He had a vision.
oh,
He
okay,
had a,
all right.
he had a
I
vision.
like
Yeah.
people like that, man. They just got like something, and they have to see it, like they have a vision, and they have to like see it in real life. They have to like
Yeah,
see
that's
it.
exactly what it was. He said he saw it and he wanted to challenge himself, so he did it. He did
Oh
it.
man,
And
that's
and
cool.
as far as my niece now, he designs a lot of her clothing. Like she'll send him jackets and different things, and he'll do the airbrush and the art on it and send it back to her. So like a lot of times when you see these dances up there with Beyonce and all of that, that's actually my brother's work. Well, he's
Oh
really
wow,
my cousin. Really my
your
cousin.
cousin, your cousin.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
but I know how that goes. I like in my family, I'm the only boy, so I didn't have no
Right.
brothers. So I have a cousin that he's like my brother, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So we all call him in the family, the broke billionaire, because that's only the surface of what he could do, you know?
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
only the surface. Because I have a friend I came up with in Southern Maryland. Let me tell you what, you've always heard of these people that could take you out with one punch. I mean, just one punch. They call them the one hitter quitter, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen him on the street, and he happened. We became close, and he became my sparring partner, right?
Cool.
So no, hell no, no, it was not cool. But
Oh, he knocked you out with one punch.
hell no, he didn't knock me
Oh,
out.
oh,
But
I thought I was about to say now he's not cool. I'm like, oh shit,
no, we used
shit.
to spar, and he went from 0 to 100 in the first round, like in seconds. It wasn't no feeling out of one because he was Mike Tyson. He was a huge fan of Mike Tyson, right?
Mhm.
So when we were younger, we used to spar, and we used to wear 16-ounce gloves, right?
All right.
That's when the gloves had the thumbs on it still. So
Okay.
He hit me one time. The first time we sparred, he hit me so hard. I saw Tweety Bird. I saw Woody Woodpecker. I just saw everything, right?
Yeah, I hear you. I've been hit that hard.
And I couldn't even hold him because my world was spinning and I had to keep moving, right?
Mhm.
So and then he came back and went to throw an uppercut. And the only thing that saved me is that I fell back into the ropes, but it breathed my lips and my nose, and I'm like, good God Almighty, he in here trying to kill me, right?
Yeah, there's some people that go hard in sparring. Mike Tyson, like you were saying.
Yeah, and then the second round, he was a step slower in the second round, but when my head started to clear. I had that ring in my head because he gave me a concussion in the first round. He gave me a walking concussion in the
Yep.
first round. And this is with headgear. right?
Damn.
Never mind the fact that he punched me in my ribs because I didn't even feel that at that point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I started catching him with the jab and carrying on, and he coming at me. He hit my jab one. He hit me on the arm one time, and my arm fell. Right, and I was like, boy. So come midway through the second round, I started jabbing and moving, and I'm not even gonna lie to you. I saw it. His headgear was loose, so I punched at it, and it turned around on him, and he couldn't see. And he slightly turned his back on me. I said, "I'm gonna kick your ass now."
Ooh, that's ring IQ right there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had to stop the fight so he could adjust his
Headgear.
yeah, headgear. But he was a little bit pissed. So cause he smoked weed and he smoked cigarettes back then, right?
Yeah, so you got tired
I'm the
out.
one that used to run all the time, and I used to have to walk 3 miles to the track, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you factor in that I'm running at the track and I'm jogging to the track. So I was in shape. So
Yeah.
come the third round, he was, nah, I'm gonna kill you. I said, okay, I got your ass now, and I whooped him in the third round. But we were both so tired, man. And then after the fight, he's like, I ain't sparring you no more, man. I'm like, why? He said, because, man, you hit me with what I couldn't see and shit.
he rang your bell, man.
No,
You
you
know.
know what? He gave me a 4 day walking concussion.
Damn, that's crazy.
It,
No, I mean
you
some
know,
of these fighters hit hard, man.
yeah. In all reality, I should have gone to the doctor and stayed in the hospital
Yep.
there was a good chance that I would have went to sleep and never woke up.
I've been through
Yeah,
that, Troy. So I know what you're talking about. I almost killed myself
yeah.
because I fell off a golf cart. To be honest,
What?
man, I fell off a golf
Ooh.
cart. I was horsing around with my buddies. We were playing around at golf. It was the first hole. I hadn't even started drinking yet. I was like on the first beer, but I was so lazy. My buddy, he had the cart. He went down the fairway because to go get to his ball. And I'm like, oh, it's cool. I won't walk it. I'll just go in the back. And these guys started horsing around, moving trying to throw me off, right? And I actually
Oh,
fell
okay.
off. It hit my head,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
it's funny. That's the only time I've been knocked out in my life. And they told me because I don't remember this. I was out for 2 minutes that I fell out with my arms extended and I was snoring
Wow.
loud as hell with my eyes open.
Yeah, yeah. Did they take you to the hospital?
Nah, I refused to go.
You sound like me, baby. How old were you?
I was shit. This wasn't long ago. This was 2015. So what are we in
Oh,
2022? So what is that? 7 years ago?
yeah. Uh-huh. Wow. I
Yeah,
was,
but
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead and finish
No,
the story, bro.
so what it was, so we actually ended up going to the bar after that because we're like, okay, the day's over. I actually ended up getting loaded, but the next day I woke up and I'm like, yeah, this is something I probably should go to the doctor for. So I go to the doctor. They check me out. They're like, okay, what you got is post concussion syndrome. Take these pills. It was just like ibuprofen or it was some type of headache medicine, and in a week you'll feel fine. And true to what he said, I felt fine. The only thing I had is that I had like this nervous tick, but my hands always
Yeah.
been shaky, so I just attributed it to that. So a month later, I'm with my ex fiance. We were at the
Uh,
bar at this trivia night, and I didn't feel no kind of way. I go take a whiz. I'm washing my hands, and I look in the mirror. I just look up in the mirror, and half of the side of my face is like a stroke. It's paralyzed, and I feel like
oh.
it's like I got ants in my skin. And I'm like, oh, this ain't right. So I go to the emergency room. They do a CAT scan, and apparently I got a brain bleed. You know, and
Whoa.
I had I had 1.6 milliliters of blood in my head, and the neurologist said that if point I think it was point zero point no 1.8 milliliters is instant death. So if I would have fell asleep that night, I would have died.
Good Lord, man.
Yeah, they had to do emergency brain surgery on me. The doctor gave me a
Really?
choice. They're like, there's two procedures we could do in this situation. We could do a burr hole treatment, which is we get a medical drill, we drill a hole all the way till we get to your brain, and then we suck out as much blood as we can, and then we put a fucking a funnel or they put a tube in there, and then that
Mhm.
tube is going to leak out. You're going to be in here for a week, and we're going to get as much blood as we can. And then if we can get it all in that week, cool. If not, we want to get to 80% of the blood gone. If we get to 80%, we'll check you out, and then the rest, the brain absorbs it. So yeah, I stayed in the
Mm.
in the hospital for a week. It was the most horrible stay in the hospital I ever had. It wasn't my only stay actually. I was 3 days on the side, on one side. I couldn't move. I couldn't even go to the bathroom. And then on my back, I had to stay 2 days, and it was horrible, man.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, but I almost
Wow.
died, man. I remember seeing my dad. God rest his soul. He was freaked out, man.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that. I can see that, son. Because being a father, I always tell them, I'm not gonna bury any of y'all. Y'all gonna bury me. You know. As I tell my children. Well, actually, I tell them, don't you dare bury me. You cremate me, and you take some seeds, whether it be apple, orange, or whatever, and you take my ashes and plant a tree. That'll be
Hmm.
pop pop. That'll be uh that'll be the family tree of life for all the generations that come afterward.
Yeah, that's
That'll be-
beautiful, man. I've always wanted
Yeah,
to have something like that. Just something like a
yeah,
remembrance. I also want people to have a party when I die. I want people to be
yeah,
happy. Like literally, it's just my time. It's nothing to be
yeah,
sad
yeah,
about. It's just it happens. Like trust me, don't get me wrong. I still miss my dad, and it was a hard one to take when he passed. But I mean, it's just the natural course of life, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you know what? The quote. Rick James. Well, in this case, Dave Chappelle. What did he say when he was doing Rick James?
Hmm.
What did he say? It's a celebration, bitches.
Yeah, right. Exactly, exactly. I don't know if you ever heard of a comedian named Andy Kaufman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they did when he died. He put like a projector of him like just doing like jokes and shit.
He was
Motherfuckers,
on
have motherfuckers
Taxi.
laughing. Huh?
He was on Taxi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was yeah, the guy, the taxi dude. Yeah, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
he also got his ass beat by some wrestler or somebody. Yeah.
And it ended up being all an act and shit.
Was it? Because I don't think it was an act. Because I think he pissed that. He kept saying it was fake.
Yeah,
Wrestling's fake.
yeah. No, no. Yo, yeah. That's what he used to say, but it ended up all being an act. Him and Jerry Lawler were all in on it.
Oh, the Jerry Lawler, King Jerry. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, it was literally just a joke.
yeah. Because Jerry Lawler was like the precursor to the honky tonk man and the whole Elvis thing they had
Yeah,
going on
I
back
remember the
then.
honky tonk man.
Because I used to look at them and be like, you all. I mean, when we got Dusty Rhodes, we could see that he a big boy and all that, but y'all just fat dudes, man. You look like everybody uncle that talk about what he used to do back in the day. You don't look like you could fight, man. Dusty, on the other hand, you kind of had this vibe like he a fat dude, but he get it on if he wants to. I
Yeah,
was a
man.
big I was a big fan of Dusty Rhodes coming up, man.
I remember Dusty Rhodes. Yeah, man. Damn.
Yeah, him.
Go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I was a big fan of wrestling when I was younger. I grew out of it, but it was fun times. I remember I enjoyed wrestling when I was a young man, a
I
younger
grew out
man.
of it too because me and my kids used to watch it, and then they started incorporating all this devil stuff and in
Mm,
there,
mm-hmm.
buried alive and the New York
Yeah, right,
Knickerbockers.
right, right. Yeah, I mean I
Yeah,
used to watch it
so,
those times too, but yeah, it just got kind of
yeah,
old.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna tell you something. All those Rocky Johnson, Rock's father, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's the actual model wrestler that Vince McMahon wants. That body type.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he searches for in wrestlers.
Oh,
Watch,
okay.
yeah, look at the guys he pushed, and look at their body type. That's all Rocky Johnson. That that,
I got
that
you.
build that he had, because he was on natural Rocky.
Oh, okay.
That, that's just genes, right? Because
Yeah,
he
I
had a
got you.
brother that used to wrestle too, and he was shaped like him. And then you see his son, right?
Yeah, yeah, right. And then
Yeah,
his
so that's all
grandfather
he.
was a wrestler too, right?
Yeah,
Mavia.
King. Yeah, yes, yeah, King. Yeah, King Mavi or whatever. Yes,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Chief.
yeah. Chief
Yeah,
Mavia. Yeah, yeah, yeah. On his
yeah,
mama's side. Yeah.
yeah. But his father is like the actual of model that Vince McMahon wants. That built.
I got
Yeah,
you. He has a picture of his head in his Rocky Johnson.
yeah,
I get you.
Or
I
what?
get you. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I was gonna show you, Troy. Check this picture out, man. This was me
Huh?
when I was about to when they pulled the blood
Hey,
out of me. Crazy, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, man.
Glad you're still around, brother.
Yeah, man. I was gonna see in the chat, man. Chat was were telling me that glad I'm okay. Thanks, fellas, man. I'm glad I'm here too, man. I got a beautiful daughter now, man. So, you know.
Okay, how old is she?
Oh, she's 2.
Oh, oh boy, you still okay, okay. Yeah. That's all right. I got I got a daughter. I got a granddaughter. She 8 months, so they can be friends.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure, for sure. One day, man. Maybe they'll meet. Yeah,
You
my
know
dad
what?
almost got to meet his granddaughter. He didn't make it, but he almost did.
Ah,
Almost, man.
well,
He died when she was like 8 months in the belly.
yeah. Well, you know what? You have a watch when she gets older. She's gonna remind you a lot of him. There's
She does
nature
already.
and nurture. Yeah, yeah. See, it's nature and nurture, and
Hmm.
and and people don't. I don't know how you are, the spiritual stuff, but I believe that a lot of that spirits transfer over also, right?
Hmm.
That,
Hmm.
that's why you might have a family member and you look at them sometime, you're like, you act just like so and so, right?
Yeah, I see it already. Because like I'm
Yeah,
a lot like my dad. I'm like I got everything like I am from my dad. Big jokester, big on sports.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like my dad had this face where like everybody always thought he was mad, but like if you ever met him, like I don't know, people were always scared of my dad. I remember I being in high school, I'm like, that's your dad? He looks mean. I'm like, nah. Yeah, he looks mean, but you talk to him and he's a sweetheart.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you know what I noticed about my granddaughter? She wakes up like me, which I'm never nice when I wake up. I need my time, right?
Hmm.
And she has her mom posted her picture of her waking up, and she just had this look like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. And then after a while, she started smiling and throwing her arms around, being all happy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I work too. First couple of minutes, I'm like, don't talk to me. Just, just leave me the hell alone.
Just leave me alone, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
but her
It's
dad is
it.
like that too. So
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah, we all like pick up those type of things, huh?
yeah, I gotta catch up with old boy. He red glove militant, man. He's always talking about cooking and carrying on. So yeah,
Yeah. I
how's
haven't
he
seen,
doing?
I haven't seen him in a while. I've been on his panel like maybe once or twice. Like I don't know him that much, but yeah, man. Yeah, I see him around in the YTBC and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is see, but the whole thing with social media just it threw me off because I used to be on Facebook a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I got to meet this Latino gentleman. This in a boxing group, funny enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we used to just go back and forth, and then we started to get to know each other. This dude was he was a Latino gentleman from out I want to say California. He was from California as well, and
Okay.
he played in a band and all that. And me and him were cool. He put the story up of his niece who had a heart condition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every time I hear that, it hits home because I have a heart condition, right?
Okay.
So I went into his inbox and put my number in, and he called me, and he was like, "Yeah, man, what's up?" So then I broke down a few things to him. He's like, I didn't know that. When I passed those things on to her about, different things she could do because everybody's heart condition is different.
Yes, sir.
I hate when people tell me, "Well, I have a family member who has a heart condition too, and you need to listen." No, I don't. No, I
Yeah,
damn
man.
well I don't.
Everybody's an expert.
Yeah, everybody's a friggin' doctor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just gave him some suggestions, and then because the doctor pretty much told the family that it was touch and go that she might die, right?
Damn. Yeah, I hear
So
you.
I told him the story about how the doctor told my mother when I was 6 years old, right, that I would die at 12,
Shit.
right? So I'm 50. So I said, doctors aren't God, man. They can't tell you anything. They have an idea, but they don't mean nothing.
Yeah,
But
man. They go ahead.
he was very upset, man, because her dad, which is his older brother, they were real close, but he was the wild man in the family, and he used to run the streets, and I think he was doing life in prison, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was the one raising her, him.
Mm.
So so that was like his daughter too. He was very very upset, man. But anyway, I told him, man, look, they showed me an X-ray. No, my middle son, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was about to fly out to Atlanta because I'm a songwriter. I'm a songwriter now, so I was about
Mm.
to fly out to Atlanta with this gospel group and go write for Minister Mace. Mace the rapper, but he was a minister at one
Yes.
point.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they were about to sign a contract with him, and they needed a writer who could write like spur of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
That was me. So
Okay. Cool.
I was supposed to sign the contract once they signed the contract with Mace, right?
Yeah.
So I had to call him at the last minute because the cord had wrapped around my son's neck, and then they told their mother, told his mother that look, he's gonna die and all
Mm.
that. So I said to the doctor, look at me. You have your science, I have my faith. I'm not. You can show me all the X-rays you want because they showed me his X-ray of my son, and his head actually looked like you ever see a basketball which is flat on one side but it got air on the other side?
Mm-hmm.
That's how his head looked, right?
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I said, I don't believe you then. My son going, nah, I don't, son. So
Yeah, man.
basically, that's what I told him. That's what I told the brother. And he kind of started crying. He's like, well, thank you. And then 3 months later, he hit me back and she was on the phone. She was on the phone. He just called me out the blue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, first he texted me to see if I was there because of the time difference, right?
All right.
So I was like, yeah, 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 man, I'm home. He didn't tell me she was on the phone, so he was just talking, talking, talking. I heard this little voice. I said, who else is on the phone? He said, yeah, this is my niece, but she's a grown woman. She's 35, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, hey, how are you? And she's just like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I just want to thank you because my uncle passed on a lot of what you said, and I just a lot of stuff people don't know that they could do, right?
Yeah.
Because I always tell people when you go before you go into the doctor, you should know what's wrong with you. You should be the master of your body where you understand, okay, I know where this pain is coming from, but I need the doctor to tell me why, right?
Yeah.
Because if you go into a doctor hospital blind, guess what they're gonna do for you? They're gonna write you a prescription that you
Mm-hmm.
can't read, but somehow the pharmacist is able to read it, and they're gonna drug
Right.
you up each and every time. You can't read a damn thing they wrote, right?
Yeah.
How the hell the pharmacist gonna read it? And then
Yeah.
he's
I
gonna
don't
go
know how
on
they
there.
did it before because now it's all computerized. They don't even give you prescription. They're just like, go to the pharmacy. It'll be ready for you.
Right, right. Nowadays it is, but back in the day, everything was on paper.
On paper, I still remember. Yeah.
So she was just like crying. She's like, I was kind of worried this time, and I didn't think about doing this and that. And she said, well, I I don't keep I don't eat any more salt, I don't eat anything white anymore, like white bread and all that stuff, right? And I don't drink soda and anything anymore and everything. She said, I feel so much better. And Uncle was like, yeah, and you're gonna stay that way too. So she got better, and then he passed about a year or so later, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know about that because me and brother Guzman, that's his name, that's his first
His
last name.
last name. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
usually the last name. Yeah.
yeah, Guzman. So me and brother Guzman, he was like, look. So he would call me up and just play something on the guitar, and I would write a line or two on paper. He's like, how do you do that fast? I'm like, I don't know, man. That's just a gift God gave me. He said, okay, well, I'm going to pay you when you write me a song. I said, all right. The only thing I turned down is my collar and bad manners, baby. So,
I always say that shit too. I always turned out. Only thing I turned down is my collar. I always say that shit. What's going on, Casey boy?
yeah. So that's what I did. What's up, Casey boy? And that's what I did, man. And I never got him the song, man.
Damn.
I never got him the song because I didn't know he passed. I called his phone.
Mm-hmm.
She was crying, 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 crying. And she was like, she called me Mr. Graham. Like I told her, stop calling me that, man.
Mr.
And
Graham was
so,
my father, right?
yeah, just call me Troy. But she's like, Mr. Graham, my uncle passed away, and now it's just me and my mom and my son, who looks a lot like her uncle. That's how things work. She
Yeah.
looked like she looked like her uncle, and to her uncle, she looked like his brother, right?
Hmm.
Which is her father, right?
Yeah.
So now she has a son who looks just like the uncle that she really loved with all her heart, man.
Yeah, because she gets that nostalgia.
Yeah, man. And she's like, well, I'm sorry, Mr. Graham, but she asked me, can we stay in touch with you? I said, yeah, just call me, if I could be of any help. So
All
she's
right.
like, thank you, thank you, thank you. He said, he really had a lot of respect for you. He said he really had a lot of respect for you. He said you would just laugh at nothing, but you're always laughing. I'm like, it's just a mechanism, man. That's how I am. But he really liked you. He really liked you. And he gave her, his guitar. He left it in the will.
Mm.
That was like his pride and joy that he got from his daddy, which came
Oh.
from his daddy's daddy and daddy.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
no, I get
saying?
it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So he didn't have any children except her. That's it. That was his baby.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. I've heard stories of people like that. Like a niece or nephew or even an adopted child. It's just
Yeah, this social media thing, man, you get to meet people without meeting them. I was like, wow, because she was really just like, she told me the family history in a short amount of time.
Hmm.
And she was, and then she was like, hey, you sound like you're a very good man, Mr. Graham. And he said he had a lot of respect for you. And I'm like, man, I called him to tell him about the song I wrote. But I was so hurt that I didn't even know what to say. I was like, well, if you need me, just give me a call, or you just want to talk, I'll be here. Because I don't, do I have a niece her age? I don't even know anymore. I really don't.
I
I
hear
tend
you.
to, yeah, I tend to forget a bunch of stuff a lot of times. But no, I don't have any nieces or age. I got a daughter that might be a few years younger than her, but I don't have a niece or age. But yeah, man. Just like with you, how we talking now. Who is the brother? Is it Gon? I don't want to say the brother's name wrong. The one they were doing the drive for the baby.
Oh,
Gon
Gonzalo.
Gonzalo, right? So here's the thing. I didn't know, number one, that I spoke to him before, right?
Hmm.
I didn't know, but he knew my voice and who I was. So one night it was 3 o'clock, and they still had the live up on D Jefferson's page, right?
Hmm.
And I think what's the name was handling it, MAA dot Patrick, right?
I don't think I
So
know that person, but go ahead.
yeah, yeah, it's MAA doctor MMA doctor or something like that,
MMA
right?
doctor. I've heard that name before. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, his real name's Patrick. He's from Canada. He cool
Oh,
guy.
okay. Yeah,
So
I barely got started in this stuff, so like I know like a lot of people, but like a lot of people I see them around. I haven't talked to them, or maybe I've said hi in the chat, or maybe I haven't.
yeah, so basically, I'm talking to the brother, and I was telling him, this is a good thing they're doing, man, for this baby. I have no idea who I was talking to be very honest with you. And
Mhm.
it's not like he's a loud guy, like, yeah, that's my son. He just didn't say nothing, right?
Mhm.
So I'm like, yeah, man. So I was like, well, why are you up this time of morning, man? At 3 in the morning, are you haunted like I am? He's like, yeah, man. That's my baby. He finally came out and said that's his son, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. So we get to talking, and he was like, yeah, I heard you on so many panels, and I'm like, brother, I don't really care if you're on the panels at this point, right?
Mhm.
And not to be rude, right?
Yeah, yeah. I got you.
Yeah. So, but I was like, yo, God bless y'all, man, because that takes a lot of strength to go through what you're going through. And he's like, yeah, it does, it does.
Yeah, man. I know.
So,
I know the feeling. Trust me. Not for me,
yeah,
but family members.
yeah, that takes a lot of damn strength, man. Let me tell you. So then I told him, I said, look, I know what they're telling you, the doctors and carrying on, but I asked him if he was a man of faith because I'm really I don't have a religion, right? I really don't. I was raised in the church, but I don't have a religion because you can't explain my own faith to me, can you? I mean, you can't
Yeah,
tell me, hey, you should believe this way. Why?
yeah,
Why am I
right.
why am I free to do what I want?
Well, trust me, I
Anyhow,
understand. I'm like you. I was raised a Catholic, but I don't go to
okay.
church anymore. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You were raised with your grandmother?
Nah, my mom and my dad. But my mom was like a
Okay.
devout Catholic, like uber devout. But she was
Oh,
always curious about religion. And but she was the first one that told me to question everything, even my religion. And I think my theory is that she used to have two friends that she was fond of, and they were Jehovah's Witnesses. And
mm,
she told them that she wanted to learn their faith. So for 2 years, she was like studying their teachings, and at the end of the 2 years they finally came out and be like, well, so is this for you, you want to convert? And she's like, nah, I told y'all from the beginning, I'm Catholic. I'm never changing my religion. And the next day she never heard from him again, and I think that hurt her a lot. And I think that's why she always used to tell me, like, yeah, I teach you these things and I'm raising you this way, but I always question everything.
yeah, smart lady, very smart lady, man. But yeah, so I told brother, look, those doctors could say everything, but it's what you actually believe in your faith that'll make a difference, man. I don't see anything but good happening for your son and all that. He was like, well, thank you. I was like, yeah, man. And I'm like, why you talk to me for about half an hour before you tell me who you were? He started laughing. I'm like, yeah, brother. I mean,
Yeah,
because knowing me, I would have said, because basically I'm sarcastic with a little twist on it sometimes. I'm not mean sarcastic, but I'll say something. I might find it funny, but the other person might not.
yeah.
You just have to roll with it sometimes.
Yeah, no, trust me, I know. I was messing with this one dude on my boy H's panel, and he got all mad at me and stuff. I'm like, God damn, it was just a joke.
Yeah, you gotta be easy, man. I mean, because listen, I just find it fun. I'm 50. I mean, when I'm not chilling or I like to go and hang out with people I've known for years and maybe spend a weekend. And this is my idea of hanging out now at 50. I'll call my cousin up and I'll say, okay, why don't we get together with some of the fellas? We cook and we chill out and all that. And everybody go their separate ways after the weekend. And that's what'll
Mm,
happen. Everybody come over his house and we'll chill for a weekend, cook and carrying on. He got a pool table and things like that, right?
cool.
Anybody, they'll tell their stories like old ass men, but we're not even really old.
Yeah, I got you. Right, 50's a new 20. I
No, I'm actually the young one. Everybody else is older than me.
hear you.
Yeah, so I think 54 is the oldest. So they'll be like, yeah, and da 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 da. And everybody got a degree except me. No, it's two of us that don't have degrees, right?
Hmm.
So we just chill. We just chill out. We reminisce, and then we go our separate ways and say, peace, peace be unto you, brother. That's it.
Yeah, see you later.
Yeah, keep in touch by phone or whatever. But that's how I get my that's how I hang out nowadays, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I understand.
I don't like going out. What the hell am I looking like going out to a club?
Right, right. Yeah. For me, I
But
love talking boxing, man.
yeah, 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 yeah. You know what? It was just in my blood, man. The boxing. My grandfather was a boxing hustler. Let me explain that to you.
All right, explain.
So his name was Sugar Graham. That's his nickname. Don't yes, Sugar Graham. You would think that's because he was Sugar Ray with his hands. No, he was nice with the ladies and his hands. So, so they called him Sugar Graham. So back in the day, they had the radios where they would listen to fights, right?
Hmm.
And there was a guy coming up named Cassius Clay, and because my grandfather used to box and he knows, he used to study boxing and all that.
Hmm.
What he used to do was get a flask, the thing, you know what I mean, right?
Yes, sir.
And he would take some rum and rub it around the rim of the flask and rub some more around the flask itself and wash his hands and put some rum on his face that he take me to the bar with him sometime, or my father to grow. So he'd be like, and then he'd go in there. He had about, let's say, he had $200 in his pocket, right?
Hmm.
He would lose a couple of hands of pool, and then he would go to another table or two, and then finally he started to win it back. And then he'd be like, "Well, look here, who's fighting tonight? I want to know." Like, I just acting like he's drunk, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So then he'd be like, "Yeah, Cassius Clay is versus Sonny Liston. Liston gonna kill him." Well, I'm on a win streak, but all my money on what you say, Clay? Clay's his name. So everybody took the all those suckers took the bet. By the end of the day, that 200 turned into like 2,000. Right? So
Nice.
until one dude was like, "You don't sound drunk no more."
That's funny, man.
And I would be sitting in the car now because legally he couldn't take me to the bar, right?
Hmm.
So I would be sitting in. This is in Jamaica, so it's a little different. I'd be sitting in the car at night, and you would see dudes come through the window, fly out the door, man, and then here come my granddad, just fighting his way through with a pool stick or whatever have you.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, "Oh, open the door."
Let's
All
go.
this shit.
It's time to go. Let's book it, man.
He always
Shit.
told me, don't turn my car on, but leave the key in the ignition, you little sucker. Right?
Right? Right?
I,
You were his getaway driver.
yeah, I left the key in there. He hop in and he haul out because it was a stick shift.
Hmm.
It was a Volvo and it was a stick shift. And we haul ass up out of there, man. At least that's the part of the story I'm telling you.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's funny that you say that, Troy Graham. Like I'm a firm believer is that nothing happens by chance. And it's funny that you say that this was your grandfather, right?
Right, Sugar Graham.
Sugar Graham. My dad was a hustler, and and,
Okay,
and he used to box. Like
okay.
he had 10 pro fights in Mexico, and mind you, I didn't learn this until 3 days after he passed away. My
Oh,
aunt, his sister, told us this. Told my sister this when we went to go. We went to go. We called her on the phone, told her brother, I passed away, and then we went over there to go visit her. Well, I didn't. My sisters went, and yeah, she started telling us a story about how my dad used to box, and he had he had 10 professional fights. He won 8 by KO, but he had a manager that was stealing his money, and
okay.
he grew like disillusioned with the sport. And my dad, he wanted to become a professional athlete, but in Mexico, in the two sports that he did,
Hmm.
in soccer and boxing. In boxing, it was obviously the sport is corrupt, and you got a lot of there's a lot of shady people in that sport. And in
Hmm.
Mexico, if you don't have money, it's kind of hard to get in, to get your foot in the door to play soccer. Like he had tryouts, like he played a bit of semi pro ball with him
Okay.
and my uncle, which was his best friend, and he made some squads. But ultimately, when it came time to like, okay, how much money can you kick into the team? Because they would ask, for money for like supply, like literally like they asked money from the players to run the day to day operations.
Right.
He didn't have any money. He was, he grew up, poor means, third world country and all,
I,
so he never made it, big time because that's how it is. And my cousin, because he has sons that play soccer to this day, is still like that. It's real hard to find a team that will give you a shot if you don't have something to, like if you're not like like a lot of the soccer players over there get sponsored, you know, by somebody that has money. They're kind of like scouts, but they're like they're pretty much in there for the money. They're just like out there looking for talent, you know.
right.
And yeah, so he never made it professional in soccer, and in boxing he's like fuck this, I'm not gonna have these guys stealing my money. And so he dedicated his younger years to try to make it pro in soccer, but it never happened. And yeah, and to make his money, he hustled pool and cards. Yeah,
He
that's what my
played
dad
poker.
was. Huh?
He was a poker player.
Yeah, Mexican poker, Mexican poker.
How do you play that? How do you play
I you know
Mexican poker?
what, I used to try to play with my uncles and my dad, but my mom, she was like, She
You wouldn't
like
have that.
hustlers and card players have a very bad reputation with
Right.
decent people in Mexico. So she would yell up. She would scold my dad whenever I try to play domino or just try to, because I'm like, I have no brothers. I have three sisters. So I'm trying to be with one of the guys when I'm a kid. But my mom would be like,
Right.
get your ass in the house. I'm gonna whip your ass right now.
Oh man.
And
Yeah,
then
because
go ahead.
no, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead,
No, no,
son.
that was it. I was just gonna say, and then my dad, used to listen to every word my mom said, So my dad was like, all right,
Yeah, man. I tell you what, man. I have. We were. This is when I was about 12. This happened, right?
hmm
So we had moved to Maryland, and my parents were winning. They were renting an apartment, right?
hmm
But they were both struggling at the same time because my mom was going to she was going to nursing school, and my dad he was going to school to uh, uh, uh the hell is it? For construction and all that, right?
Okay, okay,
So basically, things were tight. Everybody
yeah,
was
yes,
yelling.
sir.
So one day they were kind of tight on the rent, and my dad waited till my mom walked away and started cooking. Took all the money. He took all of it, right?
hmm
And he went to the track with my twin uncles, and she was pissed. My mom could fight, and she got bad temper, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this ain't gonna work out well. So he runs outside. He runs outside with the money, gets in the car with my uncles, and then he don't come back for the next 4 hours, right?
hmm
So back then there was no cell phones, it was pay phones.
Yes,
So it
sir.
just happened to be a pay phone like not too far from where our window was, like from the apartment.
Yes, sir.
So he called in, one, to make sure that she wasn't gonna kill him, and and two, to tell her, go ahead and look out the window. So she was like, what? So she's looking and she's like, where are you? And he waved his hand from this big brown car that looked like a Cadillac, right?
hmm
They called it Broham, looked like a big old Broham. So she was like, okay, well, whose car is that? He's like, that's our car. She was like, no, no. Whose car is that? You borrowed somebody's car? No. I won rent money for the next 2 months, and I got enough to pay down on this car. And she was like, oh. And he was like, tell me I'm sorry. Tell me I'm sorry. And he ran back in her, and he told her, come outside, come outside. And she was deadly afraid of big cars back then, my mother, right?
hmm hmm
Because she drove all these small cars. Nowadays, you can't get her out of a big car. You can't. Yeah.
She's got used to it, huh? She's just like loved it, like got rid of her fear, and it's like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, yes, it was, and I'll never forget the look on her face. It went from being in a rage to being like, "I love you."
And that's because it worked out, man. You hear a bunch of stories, desperation, take it to the track, and then lose it all.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But he had a way. He had a system. He would bet
Yeah,
on the first three top horses. He would put so much money on, because it was, I don't know odds, man. I don't gamble, but he would bet on the first three, right?
hmm
The first three that was supposed to win. That's who he would bet on.
Hey, it worked, right?
Yeah, it definitely worked out for him. I was
Yeah, no,
never a gambler.
go ahead.
Yeah, I can't gamble.
Yeah, I love to gamble. That was my dad's thing too, man. Like I got that from my pops, man. I'm a big time gambler. My dad wasn't good at it either. I'll tell you what.
But I can't. And you know what's so funny? My grandmother was pretty much head of the family,
Uh
right?
huh.
She was such a loving soul and so gentle. She played the numbers,
Mm.
and she had a dream book and everything.
Hmm.
And she used to tell me to stay away. She had one of those old time sewing machines where you sit at it, you press it, and then the machine goes off, right?
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
folds out of like a cabinet. come to find out, those things are worth like $4,500 now.
Yeah, yeah, I know which ones you're talking about. They're called Rockolas.
Yeah, yeah, Singers. Yeah, and they made by a company called Singer. Right.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
That's
for
what.
sure. Yeah. My cousin, he owns a vending machine company, so he has a couple of those machines, in his warehouse.
Yeah, I have a friend who sells too. So wow, man. Okay, I'm going. Woo, that was a while back too. She been gone for what's it's 22. It's 22, right?
Yes, sir.
So she died in 20 20. Well, not 20 nothing. 2004. She died in 2004.
2004. Now that was your grandmother, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She live a long life.
94.
'94. Wow, man, she was blessed. My dad almost made it
Yeah.
to his '90s. He was '87.
Hey, bless up, man. Because I know that my oldest auntie lived to be 103.
Nice,
She was a
nice.
cussing somebody too, boy. She was cussing like you black mother.
Yeah, man. Both my parents were like foul mouthed as well, and then they were when I was younger, they would hear us curse,
Yeah.
and my mom because she's like she's just like proper, she was always proper. And she's like, "Where'd you learn that from?" Or whatever. I'm like, well, from you, mom. I'm like, he said she would always joke, like, yeah, only the bad stuff you learn from me, none of the good stuff. My mom, man, she didn't live a long life. Cancer,
Really?
unfortunately, ended up taking her at 70. But and then she lived a hard life because and that's why she didn't like me to drink. And once
Mm.
I picked that up, I never drank in front of her, and I never drank at my house because she had my grandfather and all my uncles or brothers. They were all big drunks. So she ended up having to work. She started working to help out to support the family at 7 years old. So she never really had a childhood. So she never really understood like how you could have friends. She always used to tell me that those like my buddies like those aren't your friends and only your family or your friends and stuff like that. And I always attributed it to that she never had an adolescence. You get what I'm saying?
Mm. Wow, those are powerful words, man.
Yeah, no, like I have ADD, so like sometimes I wish I could, but I can't stop my mind from my mind's constantly thinking. Like I overthink things, and I'm hyper too, so I can never stop moving. Like people always just tell me, "What you got ants in your pants?" And I just laugh and be like, "Yeah, I do,"
They
And
got they got
but
different
yeah, she
names.
was a good woman though. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying they got all these names for these things now, ADD and this, that, and the third. But in all reality, it comes down to your mind being as a race constantly turned on.
Hmm.
And this is not even okay. Just imagine if you I get what they say ADD, which is I don't even know what that really means. Attention
Attention
deficit
deficit disorder.
disorder, right? So
Yeah.
just imagine when they decide to shut you down, give you that pill, if you and be villain. I just don't believe that, man, because your mind is that created for a reason, right?
Yeah. No, I agree.
Most of your top artists have a mind like that, whether it be singing, rapping, anything they do, they can't shut it off. They chasing perfection, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they could look at the you could look at like a cars moving in traffic. You see just coming.
Yeah.
Wow. See, that just happened to me for a second. I had a picture of Malcolm and Martin standing side by side. Those two couldn't keep their minds straight either. Those two couldn't keep their minds straight either because they constantly moving. Who's the one like I know the Cuban guy who was a standout. Who's the Mexican freedom fighter or whatever that we might not hear about in history?
I mean, shit. BP Last probably one that most won't know. He's not very
Really?
but in it where my mother's from, they call it La Cuna de la Independencia, the cradle of independence. where
Okay, okay.
that's where they first took up arms, or that's where they first planned to take up arms against the Spanish. And
Yes.
yeah, and Pipila, he was actually there's also the Niños Héroes, the children heroes, because
Ooh,
in those times,
ooh.
even the kids fought, and
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
and
Wow.
one of the key turning points of the war, or I don't remember the whole story. The Spanish were hurled up in this church in Guanajuato. That's where my mom is from. And
Hmm.
what it was is that he strapped a boulder to his back so the bullets would bounce off, and he came
Uh-huh.
in with some type of explosive, or maybe he just used the boulder to break through the big steel or big wooden doors that they had at that church. And he eventually died, but he was able to break open the doors, and so the other children soldiers could get in there and take out some general or some battalion that they had there. But yeah, that's where the independence started. Every year, where they have the big fights, the Mexican fights, like on the September.
Yes.
So they so there's 2 days. There's the day before. I think it's the 16th is the day of independence, but the day of the 15th is called El Grito. It's called the yell, where they say Viva
Okay.
Mexico or whatever, and that's where that originated in Guanajuato, and to this day. The party starts there, and it starts where they recreate the grito, and the grito pretty much was just kind of like originally started as like a battle cry.
Wow, man.
Yeah, then the next day is a Mexican Independence Day, and over there in Mexico City, they have a big ass party and shit, and a bunch of ceremonies and stuff like that. And my mama was a lot of. I mean, I would say some Mexicans don't know, but most Mexicans, because I lived in Mexico for a short period, and then my mom,
Okay.
she instilled in me to be proud of where you come from and stuff like that. So I was curious about that stuff when I was a kid and as a young adult. So I probably forgot a lot about it now, but Mexicans are very very prideful of their country,
Right.
and that's
Right,
why
right,
in
right.
in, in boxing they come out in droves.
Yes.
It's the love of the sport, because really in the athletic scheme of things, the boxing is really the only sport that's given Mexico champions, because soccer is huge in Mexico too, but they've never been like champions, like world champions in that sport. And in boxing, there's been numerous world champions, so that's why they come out in droves, man. It's that patriotism, and at the end of the day, that's all they got.
Yeah, because you know what? Uh,
You're breaking up, Troy.
yes, I'm sorry. That's because I'm working. I moved to the kitchen. Can
You
you
got
hear
it.
me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay. Yeah, that's what Chavez is. Chavez wore his pride on his heart, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing I always respected about him. He wore it. You couldn't. You'd have to kill him.
Yeah.
You literally had to kill him to take it away from him.
Yeah, man. That's
Yeah.
just exactly. That's why there's people love him. Like like Canelo. I've been watching him since he started. Like I've been watching a lot of Mexican boxers when they started, but his hate started not right now that he's good or whatever, but his hate started like since his career started, because I don't know if they're the two major television networks in Mexico, but there's two
Yes,
big
sir.
ones. It's TV Azteca, and I forget what the other one is. But they fought for the right to televise his fights.
Okay.
Eventually, his promoter, I forgot who promoted him at the time, because it wasn't always De La Hoya. His promoter
Okay.
ended up choosing one of them, and then the
Yes. Yes.
other. Oh, go ahead.
No. No. Because it was a smaller company that actually had him at first, and then De La Hoya bought his contract.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a yeah. It was just a yeah. Exactly. It was just like it was one of the big ones over there, but the one that they chose, the one that they didn't choose, I don't know if they held a grudge against Canelo or they held a grudge against somebody, but they started doing a smear campaign towards
Oh.
Canelo.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
like I don't know if you've ever read, but like even the greats in Mexico, not Chavez as much. I don't remember ever hearing Chavez speaking ill will towards him. But all the big greats like Ruben Olivares, Lupe Pintor, I mean like a bunch of them. Like
Right.
they started saying that they didn't like him, that he was just like a fabrication of the television station that eventually won the rights to air his contract, and that bled over into his American boxing experience. So you started hearing a lot of fans and a lot of critics saying, "Oh yeah, De La Hoya that's his like his newest project. That he's not he's not a good fighter. He just fights pure bums and stuff like that." And that all started from the original smear campaign from that television network. But
Okay,
yeah,
that
yeah,
makes sense
and
now. That makes
yeah,
sense.
you get it, and then just
Yeah.
like it is always, like you could tell the fake from the real, and now you could start to see, and then he doesn't drink, he doesn't party. Like now he's starting to cut loose a little bit more because you could tell he's kind of like heading toward. He's got all the accolades. He could have retired after that Triple G fight, if you ask me. But yeah, you can start seeing even his staunchest critics, which were the boxers and a lot of the fans, they're starting to slowly come around and they're starting to give him his props. He still gets a lot of hate, a lot of like flack, but slowly but surely, I think Lupe Pintor is one of the big champions in Mexico. Like just recently, he's starting to say like, yeah, I used to criticize him a lot and this and the third, but I mean, I can't deny it no more. The kid is what the kid is. He's just uber talented,
Yeah,
and
he's good.
yeah,
And
then you chop.
he's
Go
in
ahead.
a he's in a talent. He's in a place of confidence, which makes it even worse for anybody
Yeah,
that gets in there with him.
yeah, and then his style of fighting. He's never really been. I mean, he's been like the Triple G fights. I would say were like his most challenging fights, other than the Floyd Mayweather fight, but he wasn't ready for that. I mean, like a lot of people saying, oh, he was young, he was green. He wasn't none of that. He just wasn't on Floyd's level. He was already unified champ. He was just so young. He had experience. It's just Floyd Mayweather is just another animal. It's they threw him to the wolves with that one. But there's stories, and you can choose to believe what you believe, but there's stories that he did it for De La Hoya, and De La Hoya thought he was going to be, because Floyd ended up beating him that one time. But I
Nah,
mean,
you know
like,
what it was?
mm,
You know what it was? De La Hoya knew he wasn't going to beat that man. It was basically, listen,
mm,
uh, 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 when Floyd fought Oscar, that
mm-hmm,
was his coming out party to the world.
mm-hmm.
Because see, before that, who the hell was Floyd Mayweather? Nobody, right?
For me, he
Before he,
was, but I get you. I
no, but
get you.
I'm saying he wasn't as big as he is now.
Yeah, no, correct, correct, correct.
If you take Oscar away from him, if you take the Oscar fight away from him, he's just some talented fighter. That's it. He's not what he is today, right?
I get you. I thought you were talking about the Canelo fight. Excuse me.
No, 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 no. I was going to lead up to that. Well,
Oh, okay, okay, I got you.
because Oscar at the time was the one that got you to the to the mainstream.
To the big time.
Yeah, it wasn't vice versa. You
Mm,
needed Oscar.
yes,
You needed.
facts,
He chased
facts.
Oscar. Oscar ain't chased his ass. Oscar ain't need his ass for nothing, right?
Nope,
And
nope,
Oscar
that's
still don't
true.
need his ass,
No, he still
huh?
don't, man. He still don't.
Nah, Oscar don't need his ass for nothing. Say what you want about him dressing up like a woman and the coat and the hair and all that, but Oscar still don't need his ass for nothing. He don't. Everything that Oscar has, Floyd wants,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
The
mm-hmm.
promotion of company, the status, and all of that mess, right?
Yes, sir.
So anyway, back to fast forward now to Canelo. That was his coming out party to all his Mexican fans. He was like, look, this is going to be the next, Mexican superstar, and who better to fight than the dude who makes his money off of beating the Mexicans, Floyd Mayweather, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was just marketing. It was just good marketing. Yeah, I saw it for what it was when I first saw the fight.
I feel
I
you.
had
No,
no,
and I saw that
yeah,
too. I saw that too.
yeah. I never once thought he was gonna beat Floyd ever because he just wasn't ready. He had a lot of quantity, but he didn't have a lot of quality.
That's facts. That's facts. Like he was barely getting.
Yeah,
He was barely having those big wins. He had the Trout
yeah,
win. And then yeah, I forgot. Yeah, it's something. He didn't have. He didn't just sit. It's just. I mean, I made a lot of money. Even my own Mexican homeboys, because like they wanted Floyd to lose so bad, but I'm like, hey man, but I like Floyd. I've been watching Floyd forever since he was money. Excuse me, when he was Pretty Boy, and he was fucking, getting in the mix, and then when it was money, when he was just boxing fools, you know. So I've been watching him for a while, but like, But yeah, I get it, man. It's just yeah. Oscar was like, I hated Oscar for a long time, like for years. I didn't want to give him his flowers, as they say nowadays, because he beat my boxing idol when I was a kid.
So,
That
Chavez?
Yeah, Chavez. That one hurt. That one hurt, man. And I held. You know how fans are, and I'm no exception. I'm more even keel now. I give all the fighters their respect, but at that time, man, I hated Oscar, man. I remember when he fought Fernando Vargas. I wanted fucking Vargas to kill this man, and then he fucking beats him and like motherfucker. And yeah,
You know what's
man.
so funny?
Hmm.
Back then, for no other reason than I thought that he was. Back then, there was a word called sellout, which doesn't exist anymore. You notice,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, I don't hear that sellout as much anymore. Yeah, I feel you.
No, because everybody wants to be. Because Floyd would be considered a sellout back in the day, right?
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
So back then, I was like, this dude is just pretty, man. He can't really fight. But he proved me wrong.
No, I
And,
remember that the criticism when he first came out the Olympics.
yeah, I just thought he was getting a lot based on his looks,
Yeah, everybody
right?
thought. I remember. Yeah, yeah,
And his father was, you could tell his father did a little something in the street before, because he had that look.
yeah.
He just had that look like everybody wanted him to be much more like his daddy. His daddy had that look like, I'll kill you where you stand.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
look
For
that
sure,
his
for
daddy
sure.
had. He was not playing with you, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it was hard to hate him because of the story with his mom and carrying on and everything.
Yeah, yeah, for
So,
sure.
and the fact that he took the fights that people were like, why is he fighting him? Why is he fighting Pernell? Why is he fighting this one? Why is he fighting that one? He took them.
Yep.
He took those fights. Win, lose, or draw, you can't say nothing about him because he took the fights.
He fought
It
everybody.
isn't like today when they like not taking these fights, right?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, I learned how to respect him, especially in the fight with Vargas, like you brought up, right?
Hmm.
Because Vargas came out, we thought at his best, but he juiced up for that fight.
Yes, he did. I remember.
Yeah, he juiced up, and he had Oscar hurt a couple of times, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
He had old Oscar hurt, and I was like, finish him, and he couldn't finish him. What was it, fifth, sixth, seventh round? Oscar
Yeah.
started whooping his behind,
Hmm.
and then you realize he wasn't just a pretty face; he was tough.
Yeah.
The dude, and he had a mean streak in him, which I seriously believe came from his dad, right?
It's got to come from somewhere.
So that was my take on him and how I learned how to respect the brother. Because so, look, you might hear me moving a lot because see, I'm putting up I'm putting a sheet or whatever up on my door.
Hmm.
Years ago, I was on vacation, let's just say, right,
Yes, sir.
and somebody broke into my house while I was locked up. So
Oh
I had to
shit.
get the door fixed, but it never fit. It locks and everything, but it never fit back perfectly. And then so when it gets cold like this, a lot of air comes through the door.
Mm.
So I got to put a blanket or something over the door to stop some of that cold air. Somebody had the nerve to actually just kick my door in.
Shit.
Yeah. Well, they tried the basement, but that really isn't gonna work because that's the reinforced. Then I got a couple of steel 2x4s in across the door, right?
Yes, sir.
So they basically picked this lock and just kicked it. Just some other bullshit. Because the chain, how the hell did I get out of here if a chain was on the door? I have messed up memories. But anyway, somebody broke it
Yeah,
while I was locked
yeah, I
up.
got you.
Long and short of it. And so when it doesn't it closes all the way, but it doesn't seal. Like how the door doesn't seal up against the wall,
Hmm.
right?
Yes,
So
sir.
I go to the thrift store and I get these blankets, miscellaneous sheets a lot of time with their clean, and I give some to the homeless, and I keep some to put on my doors and windows so when it gets real cold down here, which
Yeah.
is like today. So, but anyway, back to what I was saying. Enough
Hey,
about my personal life
the
about
door, right?
Oscar. So Oscar, Oscar was hurt in that fight 3 or 4 times, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
I could recall. Yeah.
each time I said to myself, old boy is gonna beat him. Fernando's gonna whoop his ass, right? Because
Hmm.
Fernando was a tough guy from the street and da, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He whooped his ass. He came back tough and he didn't just beat him, he broke him.
Yeah, he did.
He broke him, which hurt that boy worse than what Vilas Trinidad did to him. Because for some reason he hated Oscar. And I really think he hated him because he wanted to be where he was.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And somebody should have grabbed him along the way and said, you don't need to be him. What you need to do is follow in your own footsteps because you have a whole nother audience,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah,
because, okay, yeah.
yeah, man.
No, no, but go ahead, because it's something else I want to tell you about two other fighters that I saw, and their hate came through the TV.
Yeah, well the thing was he had the like the crowd that's like he had the he had the like the Mexican crowd, like the like not the Mex like I was grab the Mexican American crowd. He had like obviously some Mexican American, but he also had the Mexican like the Mexican crowd like from Mexico. Like I remember he walked in with Chavez Senior for that Vargas fight. Um, they made it kind of like oh I'm a real Mexican, you're not a real Mexican type thing, because trust me, I know that's a thing in the Mexican community. I remember when I lived in Mexico, I got into a couple fights, over like you're a gringo and shit type shit, and it's just like that, it's a little dumb petty shit that we all the same shit, but
What was I
yeah,
about to
yeah.
say? Oh,
Go ahead,
okay.
bro.
The two fighters that I was talking about were Barrera, and Morales, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you see their very first fight?
Of course.
My God, they hated each other so much that
Yes, sir.
all that hate came through the TV.
Yeah. No, I
It-
know exactly what you mean, man. Shit, the press
yeah,
conference, yeah, man, they did not like each other.
yeah, because I can remember, Marcos Barrera talking when he spoke in broken English. He's like, after the fight, he's like, he's not what you think he is. Your HBO fighter. He's not
Mm-hmm.
what you think he is, and all that. And I'm like, really?
Mm-hmm.
This dude was that bold, and I don't know if he was related to one of my favorite fighters of all time, Johnny Tapia, because on all his trunks there was the name Tapia.
No, no, the Tapia comes from his mother. That's his mother's maiden name.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shit, man, I love boxing, so I remember back in the days, I wondered the same thing. So I did a bit of research, and I think the research, I think they did like a little documentary. They do the little like not exposés, but like little like vignettes before the fight starts, and he's
Mhm.
explaining to the interviewer that yeah, the Tapia means that's my mother's maiden name, that's why I put it there. But yeah, no, he wasn't related to Johnny Tapia, not that I could think of. I know they fought once.
Yeah, they fought once, and it's like he didn't want to fight him because at the time Tapia was in his twilight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And and Barrera didn't go all out on him. They had a lot of mutual love and respect for each other. I don't. They actually knew each other outside the ring. I don't know
Yeah,
how.
I'm sure they did. I just some of these boxers they the especially the guys that you go against. Sometimes some of these boxers become the best of friends. Like I don't know if you knew, but Morales and Barrera are like fucking like peas and carrots, man. They're best of buddies now.
That's because of what they put out in that ring. You
Mm-hmm.
either gonna die with all that hate, or you're gonna learn to respect the man because he stood with you round for round, minute for minute, second for second. He gave you what you gave him, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
if you ain't a punk or you weak, then you're gonna shake the man's hand and said, you know what, you a son of a bitch, but I got respect for you.
But let me tell you this, Troy. I don't know if you knew this, but actually, they never in any of these fights embraced or anything like that. That hate carried on for
No,
years, for years.
they're not ever gonna embrace. I mean, but embrace in the sense where, oh brother, I love you. No, they have mutual respect now.
No,
They have
but yeah,
mutual respect.
now, but like for years, they did it. They still hated each
No,
other. Yeah, I
they,
don't know if you knew they have a podcast. They just came out with it.
wow.
It's called
No,
Un Round Mas. They
what?
every Tuesday or Thursday. they release content. And so they tell the story about how, like, yeah, they hated each other for the longest. They would see each other like at events, and they wouldn't say one word to each other. But then
Uh-huh.
I think at an event, I think it was at a WBC convention that they were both at. The wives became friends.
Duh, see, that's where it starts. But let me say something to brother in the chat. I got
Mm.
a brother in the chat. Myron, they go to link, man. Jump on up here, man. Good to see Toby Bartlett. Big up yourself. But jump on up here, Myron. You know you're always welcome, even though I don't agree with your ass. But jump on, jump on up here,
Shit, there's a
Myron.
bunch of people I don't agree with, man, but it's all love at the end of the day, you know. I'll be talking some shit to
Yeah.
every now and then, you know. I can't do the rah rah stuff that some of them people do where they yell at each other. I have, but you know, it just seems kind of weird to me. But yeah, I love everybody, man. I'm just here to talk boxing, man. But yeah, I disagree with a lot of people.
No, Myron is the second dude show I went on after I found social media. The first one was the Boxing Voice, right?
Hmm.
I, I don't know if you can still hear me clearly because I switched rooms,
No, I can hear you
right?
perfectly, perfectly.
Okay. Okay. So the first one I went on was the Boxing Voice, and in a matter of maybe 20, 30, I would say about being on there for the third time is when I realized he doesn't know boxing. Like he doesn't study history is what I meant, right?
No, I feel you.
So because when I called in and I said, man, yeah, they were talking about some fight, and he's like, and I said, yeah, he reminds me of Mike McCollum. And then he did that drop. Who the fuck is that? I'm like, you are you playing with me? I said to him, are you playing with me right now? You don't know who Mike? No, who is he? I'm like, no, seriously, are you playing with me?
Hmm.
And he wasn't playing. He didn't know who he was.
Hey,
Yeah, he didn't know who
some
he was, man.
some
So
people don't study, like, they don't go backwards, you know. They watch boxing from a certain point forward, and you know, I could say, I mean, I've met people like that, like they won't know the fighters from back in the day, you know. I don't know a lot of like the old school fighters, like I know of them, like Harry Grebs and all that, you know, like really really old boxers, like, you know, like I couldn't like sit there and, oh yeah, he did this, he did that. I know of them, I've seen a few of their fights, but you know, but I would say maybe from like the 70s on, I know boxing.
I like to study, man. So that's what I do,
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm the same way. It's just, you know, I just never went extensively that backwards, you know. But it's not like I don't know, like nothing of them, you know. It's just I don't feel confident to talk about, you know, the Sugar Ray Robinsons and the,
No,
you know, I just like I don't know that much of them, you know. I just know that, you know, Sugar Ray Robinson, one of the greatest. I've seen like a bunch of his fights, but I mean, like, to know that he was born here and from there, you know.
no. You know what I tell people? To be very honest,
Mm,
be true to yourself. You study those individuals that you love, and everything else will fall into place. Because I didn't study Chavez or none of the people because I didn't love them. I did study Tapia, right?
hmm. Hmm.
I was much more interested in Tapia than I was Chavez. Jump on up here, Myron, if you're still here, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Tapia. I seen him. I seen him since he started. You know, so shit. I studied him while I was watching him. You know.
yeah, I have. And plus, before this whole social media, people were doing, the email thing where you could email them, right?
Hmm.
And I used to talk to Johnny or whoever that was on email every day.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm gonna guess and say that it was Johnny Tapia because he told me he was doing like a turning your guns thing with the police. He was working on it, right?
Hmm.
And sure enough, Mike Tyson was in New Mexico, and he got a bunch of people to turn in guns for X amount of money. For every gun you turn in, you get so much money, right? But let me tell you how smart people are. They were
Mm.
turning in old ass guns, not the
Not like, not the ones that actually worked and shit.
no man. They were turning old ass guns and making money, and it was like 150 guns taken off the street and yada yada. And then
Hmm.
that's when Tyson was there with him, and they were talking about just life and overall. And Mike was like, "Yeah, Johnny, man, I thought I was crazy, but you crazy." He said, "How many times have you died already?" He died. He literally died. He died for three
Oh,
minutes.
Johnny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He
no,
died.
yeah. I know Johnny's whole story. Yeah, no, he died. Yeah,
Yeah, he was it 2 minutes or 3 minutes. He died. He
I don't
died, and
remember
then
what it was, but yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, man. He said you crazier than me, and then they started talking about their arrest record. Tyson was like, yeah, man, I know you had it rough, but your arrest record is not longer than mine. And he bust out laughing, and I think they got a copy of it. And Johnny had like 150 pages or something, right?
Yeah, man, Johnny was a fool, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. That's the only other boxer that I really know that. Yeah, man. They were just street dudes, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah,
Now
but for
Johnny,
Johnny, go ahead, go ahead.
mm-mm. Go ahead. I'm taking my medicine. Go ahead.
All right, cool. No, for Johnny, what really like kind of like because he cleaned up and then went back and cleaned up and went back, but what really like kind of like what like set him down the path of kind of like no return in my opinion is when he actually overdosed. That's probably the time he died, and his I believe it was his brother-in-law and his sister end up getting into a car accident because they were rushing into the hospital, and I think the brother-in-law died, and that was like his best friend, and it broke him.
Mm-hmm.
It broke him.
Yeah, bro. Let me see if I can hear you, Myron.
Yeah, what's up?
There you go. You coming in clear, Myron. Say what's up to. Hold on. Let me see. Pro Professor Central. Did I say it
Perfect.
Don't
right?
know it's that.
He,
You got him on the panel, don't know the man's name, White Troy. Damn.
Look at him starting with me already. He started with me already. He can't even take it
salute,
going.
Myron.
God.
Salute.
What's up, man?
Huh? What'd you say, buddy?
What's up, Myron?
What's up? What did poor what's up? What did poor source central say?
Oh, I said salute. I said salute, Myron. What's going on?
Peace to pugilism, champ. What's up? What's up? What's up? Am I on a delay?
Uh, yeah, you're kind of like it sounds. You're in your car. It just kind of sounds like you're far away. You're cutting off a little bit.
Yeah, I'm in
Yeah,
the car on the way to work. So
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Okay, man. Well, be safe, man. But look, what I was saying about Floyd is that it was that Oscar fight that put him to the status where he is now. That's what I said.
well,
And
yeah,
that and that,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
It was there to build him up. It was to get him to the pay-per-view star for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
But I,
because back then
absolutely.
because back then he wasn't selling out in his own home state.
Man,
This is
Floyd
Floyd
was
I'm talking
selling. He
about.
just couldn't do pay-per-view numbers.
He was selling Girl Scout
Floyd was
cookies, but
selling
he
out
wasn't selling
arenas.
fights.
I remember he was selling, man, but
Hey,
but I get what Troy was saying.
see, yeah, I know. Troy can't stand Floyd. Understand that.
Ask me why. Ask me why.
I don't need to ask you why. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Okay,
Why,
good. Well,
Troy?
I'll tell
Why?
you.
Why, Troy?
That's
Why?
why you
Okay,
might
good.
have
I'll tell
told
you. It's my show,
you have
Myron. I
told me
don't need
why
you.
100 times.
No,
You
no,
have told me
no. I
100
actually never
why
said this.
100 times. I finally forgot.
No, Myron. I told you a lie. That's the simplest thing. I told you a damn lie to shut everybody up. But this is the real reason. I can't remember which fight it was, but after he won, he was doing an interview. I think his father came in the ring. And then he just got off on his father, like, why you in here? F you and carrying on. But he had just hugged his grandmother, who's his father's mother. And he was saying, yeah, she came to see me and she's not doing too well and but she still came to see me. And then he went off on his father in front of the grandmother and she fainted. And I've always had I was raised by my grandmother, so I took that, I took that to heart and I couldn't stand him anymore after that. That's why I don't like him. Long and short of it. I mean,
Oh,
because
okay. So that's some personal.
yeah,
Okay, I got you.
yeah, I understand that you and your father might have an issue, but you just said you turned around and hugged a man's mother, who's your grandmother. You talking about you love her and you care about her and you're worried about her, and now you going off on her son in front of her. You don't think that watching her grandson and her son argue like that, almost come to blows, is going to do something to
I think,
her? Huh?
Troy, you know what I honestly believe, though? I,
Love.
I think a lot of that was played. No. After a while, I think a lot of that was play on camera, bro.
Well, I
I
don't
think
play
that
like that.
no, I think some of that was play on camera. Real talk, especially when he was doing the. I later on put that together. You know what I mean? During the time, and that's notice it then, man. Um, notice how Floyd Senior ended up coaching De La Hoya. It did
Yeah.
all of that stuff. You know, I mean, around that time. You know what I mean? And it was talk where if they was going to do the rematch and Floyd Senior, you know what I'm saying, was going to be coaching against Floyd Jr.
Yep.
Coaching, I mean, De La Hoya against, all of that was play on the camera, bro, in my opinion. I think
I think
that,
so.
I think that was to sell tickets. And I think that was just to make it a more undercurrent tone and story to go along with the fight because it appealed to a lot of emotions in a lot of people. That's something serious that appealed to emotions. That's why he went so
I
hard
would
on him. Yeah, I think they did. I think they,
agree
and
with
his
you,
father was
Myron.
wrong with that.
Yeah, I would agree with you if his father would have trained Oscar for the rematch, but he came out and he was offered $2 million to train Oscar for that. Oscar's gonna give him $2 million, and he was like, "Nah, that's my son, man. I can't. It wasn't no play.
For the first
He
one,
couldn't
yeah,
do it.
definitely.
He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it, Myron. He couldn't turn on his son like that, even though
Now,
his
of
son
course,
was treating him like shit at the time, right? But he wouldn't train against him. Me, on the other hand, I would have trained because I wouldn't have viewed it as me turning on my son. It's just business, baby. I don't hate
yeah,
you.
nah. I
I just don't like you at the
but
moment.
right. I don't think they was ever going to make the rematch. You know, sometimes they talk about a rematch, it don't ever come up, and that was the story put out there. But
Right.
I don't think that shit was. I think they just in front of the camera. You know, the camera accentuate issues, the problems when the camera's on. Floyd was a consummately, or should I say, continuously selling himself. So while the cameras is
Right.
on that 24/7, he's gonna blow it up to way more it is. And his father went along in it because that big, when they was in the gym that one time, it's Roger Mayweather, such and such, and Floyd, fuck him. He said, man, and he was like, get out of here. He didn't kick his father out. Remember that shit? Get out my gym. He ain't part of this family.
Yeah,
His
I
father like,
remember that.
you
Yeah.
kicked me out. You know what I mean? Floyd just walks away. You know what I'm saying? They don't never
He
kick
didn't
him
walk
out.
away. He didn't walk away,
Uh,
man. He kept going. He kept it going.
Yeah.
no, but Floyd was walking away, talking away, but he never kicked him out the gym. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Nobody
Hmm.
even touched his father. They said, no, nobody took Floyd C out the gym, but it was playing on the camera, and it was building up that fight, though. You know what I mean? All that shit was caught on camera. That's why we really, really caught that on the 24/7 pushed on Showtime. So I was like, you know what? These motherfuckers playing on the fucking camera. You know what I mean? Both of them. But when he's like, he made sure that camera was there watching when he was in that corner for the last fight. When he told him, he said, "Yo, I never forget anything you ever told me, man. Love you." And now today, he's like, "Shit, my father was the greatest trainer ever lived." They was playing, you know what I mean? So he balanced it out. You know what I mean? That motherfuckers, they was just the whole family was playing on the camera, bro. The motherfuckers did a
Well,
great job. Uncle too. Uncle was like, "Man, I ain't getting involved between such and such and such," you know. And he was just like, I know what he's doing, but I ain't going to add more to it because, shit. But,
I don't think it was play. I just think that their family issues played out, but I don't think that anybody was playing. I think it
it
was
was a
too
little,
much.
right, it was a little riff.
A little riff.
I think it was a little bit, but it got to look believable. That's what it was. It got good acting. I think they might have had something going on, but I think they just, Floyd, I do believe it might have been something, but Floyd said, I'm just going to use all of this shit to help sell. That's why all that shit got caught on that 24 hours lead. Which fight was that leading up to? I don't remember.
I don't
But
even
it was
know.
all
I
caught
don't.
on
De La
camera.
Hoya. It was a De La Hoya
Yeah.
fight.
No.
No,
It
no,
wasn't leading
Ricky
up to
Hatton.
Berto.
Or was it? No, was it Ricky Hatton? I don't remember.
No, because he trained Ricky Hatton. So no.
I think it was the Juan Manuel Marquez fight. I think.
No. It was supposed to be his so-called farewell fight with Berto. Wasn't it
Nah, that,
Berto?
No,
when
no,
they yelled at each other. No, because he
no,
was training him in that fight.
no. That
Oh,
was way
oh,
before.
okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
tripping.
I think it was a Ricky Hatton fight. I think it was a Ricky Hatton fight.
Right, maybe one of
Okay.
those. Yeah, I know it was one of the big fights. It was a big pay-per-view
Yeah.
too. That was one of his
Yeah.
big pay-per-view fights, numbers wise, that he got. So all that shit was playing in just to add. You know what I mean? Look up, find that because it was on the 24/7, and
It was.
all of that played out. 80, 90. If you don't notice, 90% of that beat played out on that 24/7. After the 24/7, it was hardly nothing after that. Y'all remember? Y'all realize that? So I was like, they
Yeah.
actually on that. Yeah. See, people didn't connect that dot though. Go look it up.
I couldn't
they
do that
have no
though,
after
man.
that. I know.
But
It's
you get,
like it seems like, yeah, I know. I feel you. No, I understand where you exactly coming from. That's not something you want to play with because kids and looking for the families and people might look up to Floyd, be like, yeah, fuck my father too and all that. I get you. But remember, if you go back and research, all that beat seemed to be on that 24/7. And after that, he was like, yeah, me and my father, such and such. But you never see no flare-ups or blow-ups like that ever again. And then all of a sudden they worked back and finally ended up coaching him again like 3 fights later. You know what I mean? Or 2 fights later. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I
Myron, I
can't.
don't know if you.
that
Oh,
TV, man.
sorry, Troy. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, well, I was gonna say, Myron. I don't know if you remember, but like Roger and Floyd Senior, they had a big falling out. To me, I heard, or I think I read somewhere that like I don't think they reconciled to like his deathbed.
Man,
That's
and
family,
you know
man.
what? Me and my brother aren't talking right now. You know what I mean? My baby brother, I just changed his diapers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have that. I changed his freaking diapers and helped raise them and all that. We beefing right now. It happens like that with brothers sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucked up.
But it all stems from the Roger training Floyd. Like I think that has something to do with it because like Roger only trained Floyd because Floyd Senior went to jail.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all that. Right. And so he took over.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, and Floyd Senior was more, but also, I mean, Roger's style sold better than Floyd Senior's style because Roger was more offensive.
Yes, sir.
While Floyd Senior was more defensive minded, and Roger Mayweather was more offensive minded, and Roger Mayweather also got more connections. Had gotten more connections in the boxing game because he got further than Floyd Senior, and Floyd Senior was still in and out of jail and all that.
Yeah.
But Roger got way better, more connections, and he was the Mexican assassin.
Yes, he was. Remember?
And so he was the Black Mamba.
Yeah, so
Black Mamba.
Yes, Right. So Floyd took more Rogers. Pretty Boy Floyd was more Roger Mayweather, but Money Mayweather was more Floyd Senior in the way they fought and style.
Facts.
And people don't make those differentiations. Huh?
I gotta ask you, what do you think about this nonsense he's doing in Dubai with the 19-year-old?
Man, Floyd's gonna get that money.
Okay, but if he's a billionaire, you know why he need the money? If he's a billionaire, why he need the money?
Bullshit, Floyd. You always
Troy.
You be tripping. Stop saying that. Troy, stop saying, but if he's a billionaire, you know that man ain't a full-fledged billionaire. Why you keep saying it be funny?
He said that, not me. He said he's a billionaire.
He said I've generated $1 billion in the sport. Stop it.
He said he's a billionaire, Myron.
And that's one fight. That's one fight he did that Pacquiao.
Okay.
Pacquiao fight. Oh my God, that did generate probably about 800 million. Man, he said I never heard him say he's a billionaire. I heard people say he's a billionaire.
Let me say this, right? To me personally, I think he's washed up, and I think he's a whore. That's why he keeps coming back. He's a whore.
He's what?
And a whore.
I'm a whore.
He's
shit. So what?
Yes,
why you
a whore.
You gonna hate the man because he like women?
No, I'm gonna hate the man because he could be bought and sold. He's a whore.
Oh, stop it. God damn.
I mean, because if he was supposed to be,
so he ain't
bought and sold.
He ain't doing nothing to get money.
That's my point. He's there to get money. Constantly, that's it. He's not there for nothing else because look, Bernard Hopkins at his age was still fighting top fighters, not no 19-year-old boys. The hell he doing fighting a
And Bernard
19-year-old
Hopkins got
Indian
his
boy?
ass whooped. And he got his
That's a
ass
part of
whooped
the
when he
sport,
was that
baby.
age.
That's a part of the
Okay,
sport. But he's always going
he
to
went
remember as great,
too
though. He's
goddamn
always going to be
far.
remembered as great. Huh?
Yes. And so is Floyd. What's your point?
Floyd is going to be remembered as a fighter with great skill, but not with any great fights that you could say,
Okay.
damn, I want to watch this over and over again.
This is time.
No.
This is time we need to hang up. Jesus Christ! Stop hating Floyd.
I can't hang up. It's my own show. But
I'm talking about me.
Okay, well you can't hang up because you're on my show. You're not allowed to hang
Puro
up. Stay.
Sore, you'll realize it. You're gonna realize Puro Sore Citron PS. I mean, I'm gonna call PSC. PX.
Cool, that's cool.
You're gonna realize
My boy-
Floyd is just a con. Floyd can never. Troy can never give Floyd any compliment. Jesus Christ, he will never give Floyd a compliment for nothing.
I just said that he was a great fighter. He just don't have any great fights, and Myron did nothing
No,
to
you
dissuade
just
that.
said he was a fighter known with great skill.
Yeah, I said he's going to be remembered as a fighter with great skill. Exactly. You have a good memory. That's exactly what I said.
You know,
go
I'm a
ahead,
big.
go ahead and give your opinion, brother. Go ahead.
Who, me, Troy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, Floyd's my favorite fighter of my generation. You know, but you know, yeah, you know, and I don't mind, you know, the differences in opinion. You know, like I just appreciated, you know, both of his styles when he was Pretty Boy and then when he was Money. And you know, unfortunately, I think he just can't let the sport go and ego. You know, like he was the face of boxing for such a long time. You know, that builds up your ego. You never want to let it go. I mean, this fight with the kid from Dubai, like I don't mind it. You know, he's retired. You know, we all know what it is. You know, it's legalized bank robbery, like he says. But you know, like he made when he became Money Mayweather, he used the persona as the villain. You know, the heel. You know, and unfortunately, I think he gets a lot of flack. And at the end of the day, he's human. And I think at times he wants to be liked, just like some of the great fighters that came before him and that are still boxing now. And
he wants to be loved.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is like it's just ingrained in a lot of people. You know, he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because some people can't distinguish Floyd the fighter from Floyd the promoter. You get what I'm saying? And I know it to be true that he's a good man. You know, like Hernando Hernandez, the boxer that fought, that he beat for his first championship. Like he's a family friend. I never met him, but he's from the neighborhood I grew up in South Central. You know,
He's
like Floyd
played.
Floyd paid for his funeral. He was helping him out with some medical bills. This is all I heard. You know, I don't know this for a fact. You know, but you know, it's unfortunate. It's the way boxing is. You know, he decided to promote himself one way. And unfortunately, it comes with its own, you know, repercussions.
Even right, you know, even when he was promoting and playing the bad guy, the villain, because you know he knew that was going to sell. He always said a lot of things that was very, very he stuck with saying a few things. It's not cool to take punishment. You know what I'm saying? He was always advocating for boxers. You know what I mean? To like. You know, I mean, make smart investments, you know what I mean? Because you could be left out here with nothing. He was always made those statements coming in because I really believe he was looking out for fighters. He was being real. But yet people just want to smear it down because he saw what his father was going through. You know what I mean? He's seeing what, you know, brain damage. He's a real dude. But he also got to be in character because that's the sport. I mean, Muhammad Ali was always in character even when he was retired. You know what I'm saying? He was still, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm like, but now, and he was right. He said, look, they hated Wiley while he was freaking whipping ass, but then when he's sick and everything now, they motherfucker want to love him. But Ali, they hate Ali. Everybody hated Ali. Ali, and I was even though I'm a fan of boxing and I'm a fan of Ali was saying some very vicious things about, you know what I mean, fighters and insulting fighters in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Just to sell a fight. You know what I'm saying? Saying shit like, he's too ugly to be champion. You know what I mean? Or Don't he look like you know what I mean? He was funny, but he was a lot of motherfucking fighters, you know, didn't like him for that shit. You know what I mean? And so
Joe
Floyd
Frazier
did the
hated
same
him.
damn thing. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's really, really. So it's just.
Let me say this. He chose. Sorry about that, man. I'm making a lot of noise, but he chose to play the villain because he wanted what? Money. So no,
Right.
I'm not done.
No, I ain't saying
He chose that
sorry,
line. Right.
Right.
He chose that line, but at the
Yeah,
same
but nobody's
time,
saying feeling
you can't
sorry.
you can't compare him to Ali because Ali was a very purposeful guy. Ali would have
What I'm saying is
Ali
Floyd
made a
is
lot of
too.
sacrifices. That Ali stood out and stood for something. Floyd stood for only money. And then listen, you said he always talked about fighters shouldn't take punishment and all that. I'm so glad you said that, Myron.
No,
Maybe you
fighters
could
shouldn't
explain.
take punishment.
Yeah, shouldn't. Keyword shouldn't. Why does he have a doghouse then in his gym where fighters you don't stop that fight until you get stopped? Why do you have that in your gym if you don't want fighters to take punishment? Kind of contradicting everything you just said.
That's bullshit. No, he's trying to get the fight in those motherfuckers. He's trying to make sure those motherfuckers still are willing to go in there and kill. We talking about fighters take a punishment with stand too long, blase,
Punishment is
this,
punishment,
blase,
baby.
blase, that. They mad at Troy because Troy didn't never take an L like they wanted him, and he's able to lead
Myron.
the sport.
Okay, Myron. Once you enter the ring in that so-called doghouse style of fighting in his gym, you don't stop until you get knocked out. How much more punish? That means you basically gonna get beat unconscious. That's punishment.
No, Lord.
So why you preaching? Why you preaching not taking punishment, but you beating the hell out of your fighters every day?
Oh, what, Troy? Troy, where'd you see it at?
I saw the videos, Myron. They out there. They out there on YouTube, easy to find.
Yeah, they're out there.
Why do you think the Rockman brothers aren't there no more? Why? Why do you think the Rockman brothers aren't there no more?
You kind of you being soft right now. Now you sound like a little soft.
Yeah, I'm being moist. I'm being
so
soft.
you like?
Hey.
So did you like Floyd like that?
Okay.
That's
okay.
how. Hey, that's how Tyson had it. That's how Marvin Hagler had it.
I will meet you at Booker's gym on Monday, boy.
We mean by fighters. When he's talking about, he wants fighters to take punishment. He's talking about fighters staying in the game too long. Okay, fighters staying in the game too long, not making smart investments, and have to come back and keep fighting to take that punishment because they didn't take care of their money. That's what he's talking about.
Like he's coming back now constantly.
What are you talking about, man? The man still got to keep the money coming in. You know what I mean?
He has a promotion company, Myron. He has a promotion company. He don't need to be in the ring for himself. Really? Because when's the last time you seen him?
No, he's still promoting. His face is still promotion. That's how the game works.
Tell his fighters that I'm fighting.
What are you talking about?
Tell his fighters
he's
that
still
I'm
the fighter of this generation.
Maybe to you, but what I'm saying is this: you have a promotion company. Shouldn't you be focusing on that and getting these young fighters off the ground?
He is doing it. He is
doing
it. You're going to see TMT promotions all the way on. You're going to see TMT promotions everywhere probably flagged on that. I bet you'll see that.
When's the last time he put on a promotion? When's the last time he put on a card?
Oh, Lord. Anyway, look, I got to go. I'm at work right now. Hey,
man, listen, man. Be safe, man. Be safe.
Be safe, Myron. Before you go, both of you guys make great points, by the way. Both of you guys make great points. But yeah, man, take it easy.
We do this all the time. We do this all the time.
Stop talking, man. Go ahead and tell them about your page before you jump off.
No, it's Boxologics United. Everybody know that, man. Boxologics United. Peace and pugilism. Yeah, here's Troy dish Floyd for the rest of the day. Lord. Anyway, y'all have a great day. I'm out, man.
You too, Myron, man. Take it easy, brother.
All right, man. Be safe and prosperous, you Bama.
Now, you guys both make great points. You know, like I don't like what Floyd's doing, like currently. You know, and I especially don't like how he's moving Tank. You know, Tank is one of my favorite fighters. You know, currently. But you know, it is what it is. You know,
sorry, man, but you know, Tank is actually a whole lot more talented than what people think he is, and he has very good eyes, right?
He got it
Just
all, Troy. He got it all, man. I'm sorry. It's just like eventually they're gonna have to put him in with these fucking fighters so he could truly prove to the world that he is what I think he is.
yeah. Keep on talking because I don't know if Smokes mic is fixed yet, but I'm sick of him in the chat. So just keep on.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, Tank and Ryan, man. Been watching them for a cool minute,
Oh my
man. There's
God.
a bunch
I
of
don't
other.
want to hear that. I
Mhm.
don't want to hear that young boy's name. Ryan ain't doing a damn thing.
It's only
Or
been a year and that he was been inactive, and before that, I don't know. To me, before that, he was fighting on the regular, and nobody. I mean, I've heard the criticism. Ryan reminds me a lot of fucking De La Hoya when he was first starting. He's a
absolutely not.
he's a
Absolutely
pretty.
not.
No, you get no. Obviously, I'm not comparing him to De La Hoya, but I'm just comparing him to like,
Yeah.
oh, he's a pretty boy. He's an Instagram model. I remember they used to say, oh, he's just a Calvin Klein model. He's not a boxer. He's too pretty to get in the face. Shit like that. That's what I mean. Just in that aspect. Obviously, he's shit. I mean, De La Hoya was a
Oh,
gold medalist. Kicking everybody's ass. He's not even close to that. And the only reason I like Ryan is just well, I mean, obviously he's uber talented, but like I remember watching kind of like Ellie Seckbach is when I first heard about him. He reported on him when he was young, man. Him and his little brother coming up. But I remember he was talking about how he got started in boxing and how he was teaching himself the basics in his garage. And that reminded me of me when I was a kid. I taught myself all the basics in my garage too. But this was in like the fucking early 90s when they didn't have internet and shit. And I wouldn't have fucking put that on video anyways. But I don't know. I just, I like the kid. He talks too much. I'm going to tell you that. But, I just, and then to me, Troy, I mean, I see the writing on the wall, at least me. It's De La Hoya. There's Golden War Promotions that are holding this kid back because of contract disputes and shit like that. I've seen videos where he's like criticized certain things,
okay.
and then talking about like how they don't want to give him certain fights, like the Isaac Cruz fight. People making tons of videos about like how De La Hoya's capping and stuff. But I've been watching videos of Ryan's dad, which is actually Ryan's manager, talking about like how like they address the De La Hoya situation. It's like, oh, he don't want us to take this fight, but nah, don't get it twisted. That's the fight we want. That's the fight we're coming back with, and that's then you see Oscar coming back. Oh yeah, we made an offer to him and this, that, and the other. But it just reminds me of the Canelo situation. Canelo wanted like the Lara fight. They didn't want the Lara fight for him. They like that was a big a point of how they had a falling out. They want, and then the zone mishap where like literally they told Canelo they had this contract, but then De La Hoya, excuse me, Golden Boy Promotions had another contract that they didn't tell him about, and it's so eerily similar about about him fighting the fighters that they didn't want him to fight, and then Canelo eventually just like fuck this, I'm about to sue these guys,
Yeah, to be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a whole lot more than a contract issue. He
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't strike me as having the spirit of a fighter. I mean, I get the contract issue, but does he look like he wants to come back? In all the and everything
I
you've seen, yeah.
I think he does, but I mean that's just like literally maybe I'm fanboying for the kid. I don't know. Sometimes like I get passionate about certain fighters. I mean I won't cap for them. Like literally he's not. I'm not saying he's a superstar. Don't matter what the numbers say or how popular he is on Twitter. He's still got work to do. He hasn't been a champion yet. It's just like to me it's just eerily similar to the Canelo situation where I think that this kid wants to fight certain fights, like the Tank Davis situation. As soon as he said he wanted to fight Tank after he knocked out Luke Campbell, like you already heard, like the interviews coming out with De La Hoya talking about no, he's not ready for this guy, and then the Manny Pacquiao situation came up, and then De La Hoya saying no, he's lying. Pacquiao's people never fucking contacted us, and then Pacquiao, and then that fool Justin, whoever that runs Manny Pacquiao Promotions, comes out and says, yeah, we did contact the young man, and we're trying to set something up, but the money fell through, and then fucking he pulls out of this one fight with Javier Fortuna, which I think is bullshit. I think that they gave him that fight, and he didn't want to fight that fight. And I think this is all just where him and De La Hoya are not seeing eye to eye. Because like literally he comes out what promoter comes out and says, oh yeah, Ryan's good, but he'll never beat that Tio kid and this, that, and the other. And he's obviously doing drugs with his fucking wife or his girlfriend. I'm like, I just think
Really?
like De La Hoya moves these guys really weird, man.
Well, he's weird in a sense when it comes to promoters. He's not a promoter at all. He really isn't. He's a
Well,
guy that started a business, but what he needs to do is hire people and put them in places where they belong. That's how you
yeah.
become a great business. Because he's not a promoter. He doesn't belong out front at all, even though his name's on the door. But he doesn't. He belongs behind the scenes where he could do his best work.
I hear you. I hear you. And that's the thing. Like I remember discussing like the situation with Bob Rank and Bud, Top Rank and Bob Rank, Top Rank and Bud. Like literally, like that's another situation where like that should be an easy promote, and then he comes out and says, "Oh, I lost money on," and in public, in like literally right next to Terrence, and says, "Oh yeah, I've lost so much money on this kid. I can build a house and this." And I'm like, I mean, you don't say these things, man. You're his promoter. You're supposed to be, like promoting them. Like, and then, like I was saying, like it should be a slam dunk, easy promotion. This guy is a killer, man. He puts on like exciting fights. He comes to fight. I mean, I just don't understand it, man.
I don't get it either. I mean, I don't even pay any mind to that boy. I really don't. I don't view him as a fighter. I don't feel it. I really don't feel that he's a fighter. I really don't. I tell you who is a fighter. Ortiz
Mm.
is a fighter.
Yeah, but look who they put him in with.
Who?
The McKinnison guy that he's about to fight. That's a downgrade from like literally Kavalauskas. I mean, like he's not like oh my god, he's gonna be all time great or anything, but he's a solid fighter.
He's a
Terrence
tough,
Crawford
tough
fought him.
guy.
Tough guy. But now to me they get him on a downgrade. Now I'm hearing that they want to put Ryan with Mercedo Gesta, a fighter that hasn't fought in 3 years. I'm
Who
like,
else was? But who else was out there that could give him a run for his money right now?
oh, for Ortiz?
Uh huh.
Yeah, I'm shit. Boots. That would be a good fight. For a chance to beat to fight Errol and Terrence if they ever get that thing situated. Let me see, 147. Shit, I would have to look at the rankings, but I mean, there's other fighters that they could have upgraded him to fight. I mean, the guy he's fighting is like 24 or 29-0 with like 2 knockouts. I mean, he's gonna murder this kid.
Honestly, well, two things. Number one, every time see him and all that, I don't get the vibe that he wants to fight whatsoever. I really don't. Right?
And Troy, and it's understandable. It's understandable
Uh-huh.
that like literally that kid's last year was a bloodbath. Like he fucking pulls out of a fight, then he gets another fight and he breaks his hand because of him because he's an idiot doing that body shot challenge with all those fucking celebrities. So I get it. Like literally all the criticism that I believe is warranted is warranted. You get what I'm saying? It's just
Sure.
I'm not ready to give up on the kid. I see the skill he's got. He's in the gym right now. I just saw a recent video of him training with Eddie, and I actually still think that the Isaac Cruz fight is a possibility for the way the combinations he was training. He was training for like he was going to fight a shorter fighter. And Isaac Cruz is pretty short, but I don't know. Like literally, I saw a video of Paulie Malignaggi that was rating the 135, the top 135 pounders. And he had Ryan at the bottom, which I would agree with him. And he said one thing that was telling though. It's like he's like I like the kid. He's got a lot of talent, but like I can't want it. I can't want the glory for him. Like me personally, Puro can't want the best for Ryan. Ryan's got to want that. And I thought that was a great statement. And I hope he proves me right, the kid, because I think he's supremely talented.
Hmm. Well, only time will tell, my good sir. Only time will tell. But you know what?
Yeah,
I'm going
man.
to shut it down in a little bit. I got to get up a little bit later and take this boy to work. And it's cold. Good gracious, I don't want to go outside because you know what's going to happen?
Mm.
I I drive a work van and it's an extended cargo van.
Hmm.
So the thing has to be about 30 feet. This is long. I don't even know how long 30 feet is, but it's long because it has a dual tank too. So that gives you an idea how long it is, right?
Yeah, sir.
So yeah, every time I find a nice parking spot by the house, then I got to get my behind up and take him to work. I got to park somewhere down the block.
Somebody take your spot.
Yeah, because I could get the handicap thing. I need to just go ahead and do that. Have my doctor sign the paperwork,
Hmm.
and I can get the handicap spot right in front of my house, which is what I'm gonna do. Right?
Yeah, no, do that, Troy.
Yeah,
I remember my dad got his handicap spot, man. It was sweet.
yeah, man. But Jesus, all that. I don't listen. I don't want to be. It warms up fast enough, but I don't. I don't want to be out there, man. It's cold.
Yeah, it's cold, yeah, I feel you. And just so you can see, I ain't lying, man. I got my tank shirt on right now.
That's hilarious.
I said. Hey, I'm telling you, man. I be going on these channels where they like to, go hard, and the free smoke channels, man. Well, man, I got a feeling, man. Tank and Ryan gonna prove me right, and I'm gonna talk my shit. I'm telling you, man. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
bloodbath. It's gonna be a bloodbath.
Hang on, fight. Floyd is in control of Tank's career.
I know
Tank,
that's the problem, man. I hear you.
yeah. I mean, because listen to this. If boxing made, and let me turn off this whistler. I have a whistler, obviously, right?
Yeah,
So
I hear it.
if boxing made any sense, Haney, Haney and Kambosos would be in talks right now.
Yes, sir.
If boxing made any damn sense,
Well,
there's
well,
no
well,
other fight out there.
yeah. Well, they said that they made an offer, for them to fight in Dubai. I don't know how real that is. Eddie Hearn said it himself, but the Lomachenko has a he could become the mandatory for Kambosos. Tank can become the mandatory for Kambosos. So until it's officially announced, we shall see.
I hope but Haney, it should be nobody but Haney. Who it makes too much sense. He has the only belt that this man don't have, and he can
Yeah,
still
but
make 135. I mean,
and that
he needs to move
go ahead.
up too. Him and Ryan need to move up.
Yeah. They're big. They're big boys for that weight. People call me a Haney hater, and I'm not. I want the kid to become the version of himself he could be, because then we as the fans are gonna be treated, because like he's gonna be in some fire fights. But that belt, man, was given to him, man. Like, I mean, like, it's clear. But that's not here nor there. I mean, if I was in this position and I could, like work my way to get myself a title or make more money, I would have done the same thing. But I mean, he's earned a shot at the undisputed title. So he's earned it. In my opinion. So yeah, man, Haney Kambosos would be great, but so would the other fights.
Trust me. I understand about the earning of the belt and carrying on and all that, but it just makes more sense to clear it up, because that
I
whole
hear you.
nonsense with the belt is not that young boy's fault. It's Suleiman's fault. He is. Listen, when I finally got back into boxing, and I kept hearing that the WBC was the most what's the term they use? The most
Prestigious.
I was like, really? Since when? They were the
Uh,
most corrupt. They were the most corrupt back then. Obviously, they're still the most corrupt now.
and I agree with you, but
Yeah.
I mean, like, hey, ever since I grew up as a kid, and yeah, I've always seen the fighters like cherish that green belt, but it does come with a lot of trickery. I mean, the WBC already became bankrupt once because of the shenanigans, not too long ago in the early 2000s, because of all that shit, and they had to pay this fighter so much money, a Russian fighter, so much money that they had to close up shop. But like, I'll tell you this about you were saying that it's not that young man's fault, and I don't think it's the young man's fault either. He does. I'm sure what his managers, his pops tells him, but I never see Devin Haney complain about the WBC ever. So
No, no, no. But most people don't realize the WBA is the first belt. It started out as the NBA, National Boxing Association, right?
hmm
And then decades later, the WBA, it turned into the WBA, and then decades later, the WBC came along, then the IBF, and the WBO. You know who was the first really big name to win a WBO belt?
no, I don't. Well, I probably do,
Tommy
but I don't remember. Go ahead. Sorry.
Tommy Hearns. He called it the World Body Odor belt. I think he beat when he knocked out Rodan was the guy's name. Uh, and you know what? That's what I'm sorry. I'm going someplace completely different from boxing now, right?
Yeah,
When
Roldan, because I don't know who Roldan is, to be
yeah,
honest.
that's back in '80. Don't worry about it. But
No, I know, I know who Tommy fought. Trust me, I studied him extensively. Trust me, I love Tommy the Hitman Hearns. But
yeah,
was that his first title? You were saying?
at 160, I believe so.
Oh, it was at 160. Okay, okay. Because I'm thinking of his
Yeah,
very first title at welterweight.
yeah, no, no. This guy fought Hagler and gave Hagler fits too, and he gave Hearns fits, but he finished on his face. Hearns knocked him out on his face, right? But
Hmm.
but when you were talking about how you know the Mexican guy, you know the freedom fighter,
Oh
and
yeah,
how he was
yeah, yeah,
yeah how he was fighting against the Spanish. I wish
yes.
you would have gotten in more detail, but I understood completely because I have a cousin that was born in Spain,
Mm.
so I understand what you mean because they're actually Spaniards.
Yeah,
They're what's called Spaniards, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Spanish. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
for sure.
and there's a big difference between a Spaniard, and a Latino, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I would say so. Like me personally, I don't consider
Okay.
myself Latino.
Nah.
Nah, I don't know. It's just like I mean, it's just semantics at the end of the day. But to me, Latinos are from Latin America, which we like, kind of like Cuba, Honduras, or that'd be like Central. I don't know. I just consider I prefer Mexican or Mexican American. Actually, I just prefer like
Oh,
Puro or
okay,
my real
okay.
name Alex. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just a label
Right.
at the end of the day. But I don't know. I prefer Mexican over Latino or Hispanic.
Okay. Now break that down. What's the difference between a Hispanic and give your explanation because a lot of people don't know. What's the difference
Oh,
between a Mexican not a Mexican, what's the difference between being Latino and being Hispanic?
shit, man. For me, I mean, I know they had Hispaniola, where I think that word comes from. But I mean, it was never a country, there's not a Latina land or whatever. It just I don't know where those names like truly came from. I probably did at one point. It's just I don't know. It's just kind of a Mexican thing. It's just like there's a lot of Mexicans that just prefer Mexican instead of Latino or Hispanic.
Yeah, because from my understanding, when I spoke to a few people, the
Hmm.
Hispanics are simply whites who could speak Spanish. That's
Hmm.
that's that's what I've heard in so many. Just to paraphrase it, right?
Hmm.
And then the Latinos are they would be those fans you talked about for Vargas. The real
Hmm.
one. The real
Hmm.
ones, the real Spanish speaking people who come from the what are those Indians? The Thai something.
Taino?
Taino, yeah,
Yeah,
them,
that's one
right?
of them. But there was a shitload of them. Like where my mom's region's from, we were the
Yeah.
Chichimecas.
Yeah, but they're pretty much all, that's how at least that's the little understand. I might be completely wrong. I wish somebody would jump on here and correct me. But basically that's my getting of it.
Mm.
Most they said that most no self-respecting, Latin person would call themselves, an Hispanic.
An
Just
Hispanic.
like yeah, just like no most self-respecting black people would call themselves a Negro.
I got you. I
But
got you. No, I feel you. I feel you. For me, it's
yeah,
just like Mexican is like what I prefer. I mean, like my mom was a big patriot. Like she loved both countries. Like so, that's why I'm proud to be American, proud to be Mexican. But yeah, I just prefer Mexican. But I mean, I don't get trip if somebody calls me Hispanic. Like it's just a word at the end of the day.
it is definitely is. But one person though they say I ain't no damn Hispanic, but yeah, just like
Yeah, I've got into that argument before though, but yeah, not no more. I mean, I've grown out of that. Just don't call me late for dinner.
yeah, that's the way I look at it, right? Excuse me, but I had to blow
No,
my
no,
nose, but
no, no worries, brother.
yeah. What was I going? I was going to say something, but what the hell? Oh, just like I was born in Jamaica, right? And I grew up in Jamaica,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Come to find out that that's not the name of the country in the first place.
Oh no, what's it called?
I wish I could remember.
Oh
I don't
shit,
remember the original name, but it takes off the J. It was the English that named it Jamaica because they couldn't pronounce the
the
name
word.
right.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
name of
So
the
it
land.
was
Yeah.
English, just like it was white people that named us black. We weren't black people. We were all described by our tribe. You could tell. They just knew back then, like they could look at you and say, okay, Greek, Roman, Moor, Yoruba, whatever, Viking, right?
Igbo.
Yeah. But now all of a sudden everybody black and white, and that's the foolishness. Because that's why some people say, well, you black. I'm like, no. Not really. I'm not.
Yeah, I hear you. It's classism. It's classism made up to demean another type of people, man. That's what I think.
Now, now, mind you, I'm not saying that I haven't dealt with some things because of how I look, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I still deal with it to this day. I give you a perfect example. Maybe 2 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm at the bus stop, and police car drove past me, and he's looking at me. I'm looking at him. I was like, "How you doing?" And then he circles back around, and he had his radio up all the way. He's like, "Suspect is wearing a gray hoodie, and he's in his 20s." My man, I have gray hair and a belly. And most importantly, he said that he's running.
I'm
I'm
in a
not
car,
running.
motherfucker.
Look, I'm 50, I got a belly and I have a defibrillator. Where am I? I'm not running a mother. I'm not
Right?
running no place, right?
I'm
So
the easiest. I'm the easiest catch you'll ever get.
so he walks up, he doesn't really get that. He walks up, he gets out of his car, gets on the sidewalk, and he's about to get on the radio and say that I found it. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. A suspect has been caught. I'm like, this dude here was really gonna call in, telling that he found the subject because I had on a gray hoodie.
Hmm.
Seriously, and he was
Yeah,
black,
right.
and he was another black man.
The police, man. I'm
Seriously,
telling you, man. They're
I was
they're
so
weird.
offended by that, man.
Yeah,
I, I
I would
damn,
be
I
offended
can't
by it
wear a
too.
hoodie. And
Like
just
I
like
got my own. Go ahead.
I remember I had a professor. He was a psychology professor or whatever he was back when I was attending college, even though I ain't finished, right?
Hmm.
And he was Mexican, and he told me Mexicans don't have that aggressive gene like black people. I'm like, this dude is full of shit.
Hell yeah, he is. Shit, when I was young, that's all I was aggressive, man. Shit, getting into all kinds
Yeah,
of fights.
he was full of shit.
Yeah, he
Because
was.
even in Latin countries, I know based on just talking to people and things like that you all are separated by color too. Is just a ridiculous thing.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
ridiculous. Like the darker one, like you take okay, you of course remember Felix Trinidad, right?
Of course.
Yeah, if you didn't know that he was Puerto Rican, he would just think he was black with a big nose, right?
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Well,
Notice,
technically the color of his skin is black, so yeah, I got you.
yeah, notice that they never really. I mean, he was loved now, but
Hmm.
but a lot of times on the so-called lighter or white Puerto Rican areas, they didn't really give him a lot of love. But you know, around Puerto Rico, and he could walk the streets. Let's just put it like that.
Hmm.
Felix
Hmm.
could walk the streets. The same thing with Duran. To this day, he can still walk the streets of Panama by himself at night, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
no one will touch him because he's so revered. But he can't go to areas in Panama.
Hmm.
You know, he can't go over there. The man drinks still, and he could be falling down drunk. He cannot go to those areas.
I
He
got you.
can't. They don't give a damn if he ran. And he's Mexican. He's part Mexican. His daddy Mexican.
Yeah, I know it. A lot of people don't know that, but I know it.
Yeah. So I, he gained my respect over time because Duran. What people don't know is he's a great fighter. But my God, he's a dirty ass fighter too. He's just slick with the joint, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He would
yeah.
he would he would thumb you. Most fighters jab at your chest and everything else.
Hmm.
If he really couldn't stand you, he's putting his jab in your Adam's apple on
Wow.
purpose.
Yeah, I
He's
feel
not
you.
playing with you. He's not, and he's
That,
punching you up
he's
under the
not.
heart.
That's a street dude, man. They found him on the. I think they found him on the streets fighting.
That's what he used to do as a child.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then somebody asked him when he saw they were at a convention or something. All of them, Ray, Hagler, Tommy, and all of that. And somebody asked him, translate, well, why didn't you ever get a rematch? And he did something with his arm. Was like, no, 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 no. He's like, no. I'm never fighting this man again.
Right? He's like, I'm good. I fought him once. It's enough.
Yeah, I think he said basically what he said, and I'm paraphrasing. I might have big balls and everything, but I'm not getting in there with Hearns again. After the no man ever knocked me out or hit me like that. You know, that's the
Yep.
only man that ever knocked him out, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and he didn't just knock him out. He finished him. He was finished. You don't finish a tough guy like that on his face. You don't.
No, you don't. You do not.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I've heard stories that they gave him a big duffel bag because he was like on a coke binge and an orgy binge, and Don King gave him a big ass duffel bag. And he's like, "You want to fight Tommy Hearns?" And he was like, "Hell no!" And then Don King came out with like a duffel bag full of millions of dollars. He's like, "Okay, I'll fight him."
But yeah, see, because Tommy caught him with a full force at the end of a putt.
Oh, I know it.
Oh my God, it was pretty, but it was terrible.
Yeah, he was out. I mean, he was out when the punch landed. He just fell like a tree. Timber, boom.
Yeah, yeah, but you know who he was scheduled to fight?
Who?
Not Tommy Hearns, the body snatcher.
Oh, that would have been a great fight, man.
And you know what
Mark
Jim the body
McCallum?
snatcher trained in?
Ooh.
Mike McCollum. And you know what Jim the body snatcher trained in, right?
No.
Crunk.
Crunk? Okay, I'm sure I knew that, but off the top of my head, I was like, I couldn't just bust it out. I was like, oh, I have to think about it.
Yeah.
The Crunk gym. Ooh, no, that's a tough gym. That's a famous gym. I mean, like, it's got a
That's the same
reputation.
place Tommy trained. He was him and Tommy sparred all the time. Emmanuel Stewart never let Tommy fight him at 154, 160, nowhere, because he said, listen, that's the only man that Tommy Hearns can not land his right hand on. Because he would take a half step this way and that way and throw off Tommy's timing. Like he knew when Tommy was going to throw the right, so he would step in his chest, which he was too close to him, so he couldn't throw the right. Or he would take a slight step here, which made him out of range. He couldn't throw the right. Right?
Yeah.
And he would piss Tommy Hearns off because he couldn't get him. He would wear Tommy's body out.
The body snatcher. He would snatch the body out of him.
And that's why every time he beat a Crunk fighter, he ran over into the corner and had words with Manny Stewart. Because see, here's what happened. They didn't leave him high and dry. Now he got a championship shot. Mike McCollum against some Irishman. I don't remember the guy's name. But the point is that he was scheduled to fight Duran, which was a legend, a big name, which would have put him into the limelight, right? But Tommy, of course, was the bigger name.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so Tommy was the bigger name. But let me go ahead and jump off here, man. It's been a pleasure, and I want to thank you for your time. I made some pomegranate green tea with lemon.
Yeah, hey man, enjoy it. And I want to thank you too for having me on your channel, Troy. It was a pleasure, man, talking boxing with you, brother.
Oh, anytime, man, anytime. Look, man, in the near future, let me give you a little heads up. Like I said, I'm gonna give Major a lot of the boxing stuff. I'm more for a spontaneous cat, so I gotta start coming on. I would say around 1 o'clock during the week. I'll come on and stay an hour or two, right?
Yes, sir.
In the future, I'm gonna be doing a lot of martial arts shows. Health and wellness shows with urban gardener. What I mean by urban gardeners, I have a brother who he used to do security for Public Enemy, so he's serious with the martial arts, right? And he bought an alley, which was a couple of acres, but at that time, that alley was full of drug dealing, hookers, and rats, right? So it took him 2 years, and he turned that into an actual farm. And I'm talking about concrete and tarred over. And he turned it into an actual farm, right?
Yeah.
Now you heard what I said. It was full of drug dealers.
Yeah, full of all that stuff. Yeah.
And rats. Tell me what was the hardest thing he had to get out of that alley?
The hookers.
It was the rats.
Oh shit, yeah, right? I should have said the rats first. Yeah. Shit, no. I feel you.
So yeah, man, and he's in his 60s, but he does not look like he's in his 60s. So his name is Doc Kozar. He's coming on pretty soon, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have another brother coming on, like I said, a playwright. He's a comedian, he's a philanthropist, and he's just doing his thing, right?
Yes, sir.
He's coming on. He's going to share how you can make money in this business without having to be out front, right? I got
Yeah.
another brother who's my nephew, who's going to
Hmm.
the NFL. Actually, he's going to the NFL. But you know what he does?
What is
He is a he knows the stocks. He's like a real master when it comes to the stocks.
Oh, he's a broker,
So
huh?
yeah, so he basically told me, Uncle Troy, I don't really need the NFL to make money. I already making money on the stocks.
I feel you.
Yeah. But hold on one second for me. Hold on one second. I gotta go mute real quick.
I'm here, bro.
He must have heard me talking about it. He must have.
What happened? What happened?
That was my nephew. He must have heard me talking about it.
Oh yeah. He does. His ears were burning, huh?
Yeah. So I got to schedule a date with him. I got to schedule a date with my own damn nephew. Wow. Okay. So he's
Right.
so yeah, he
There's
gonna
only
come
so
on
much time in the
here.
day, Troy.
Yeah, he gonna come on here and talk about his journey getting to the NFL and stocks and all that. But he's making some money now doing the stock thing, and he has a simple way of explaining it because the guy who's his mentor, he's he's
Hmm.
actually in the he's actually in the NFL already. He's in
Oh,
the
okay.
NFL already, and he's a young guy. And he took some of his millions and he started buying stock, and now he's a multi-millionaire. He don't even need football. He don't need it.
There it is. Does it because he loves it.
And yeah, and just working on some other stuff coming on. I have a guy. I want to do a lot of things with life on here. March. Y'all want y'all. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. Monday on Major Key Boxing. Prince Charles Williams. Light heavyweight champion back in the day. Light heavyweight royalty. He beat Bobby Chaz back in the day. Fought
Right.
James Toney. Fought a lot of great fighters back in the day. He'll be on here, and hopefully, I will have Virgil Hill and Michael Nunn with him. If not, it'll just be a brother on there, right?
Mm. Cool.
But
Cool. Michael
me
Nunn
and
just
him
got
have,
out of prison, right?
huh?
Michael Nunn just got out of prison, or am I thinking of another
Maybe a
fighter?
year or so ago. Yes, maybe a year or
Yeah.
so ago. Matter of fact, if you want to know all that, go to Major Key and look at the interview that we did with him. We have
Mm.
an interview, or just type in Major Key interview Michael Nunn, and it'll pop up, and you'll see it.
Cool.
Okay?
Cool. Cool. I'm gonna check it
Yeah,
out. Yeah, because I remember seeing Jerry Cooney on Major Keys panel one time.
yeah. Jerry Cooney been on there. Simon Brown, Glenn Johnson, Kelly Pavlik, Julian Jackson, and Mike McCollum, which is history. You have
Hmm.
never seen Julian Jackson and Mike McCollum on anybody else's show, and you never will.
Hmm.
We the only ones to do that. So,
That's
ha,
cool. That's really no. That's really cool. That's really cool that you guys get these interviews, man. Like that's really cool.
yeah. So, but sorry about that. But all right, everybody, bless up, man. I'm gonna exit stage left so I can lay down before I have to take this young man here to work, and then I'm gonna come back in and eat this chicken soup I made because it's cold, and there's nothing better than eating a cold than soup.
Yeah, right, right.
Right. So
Yeah.
y'all have a blessed day. And wait, is Por Soro Central, right? And I messed that up terribly.
No. Just the first. It's the first word because the two words. The sur central. I see people get that right. It's just puro. Just remember. Just try to
Oh,
say like you're gonna say. Shit. No. I don't know how to.
Puro,
Huh?
Puro Sol Central.
That's it. That's it. You got it. That was perfect.
Right. Puro South Central. Me, yeah. Now I'm gonna say the patois. Oh no, I'm not. It's just
Yeah, man. But Troy, thank you, brother, again, and I'll see you on
all
the
right.
next one, man. Take it
All
easy,
right,
man.
man. All right, bless up everybody. Thanks for stopping by, man. I gotta get some sleep. I actually
Sir.
started the podcast to talk about something else, and it went somewhere else. That's the Troy Graham experience, baby. That's
You
what
always
it
say
is.
that. You always say that, man. But it's all good. We had fun. Take it easy. Peace.
All right, peace.